A beautiful smile paired with a sweet voice was playing on the giant screen. As the monsters steadily advanced and we desperately searched for a new ray of hope, she spun gracefully. Now's the time for you to become heroes. Lee Jihan slowly reached out her hand and gave a playful wink. Your story begins now. Her voice echoed throughout the city. Call the Hero Association today. Meanwhile, down on the streets below, a young man was watching the ad with visible excitement. That's Cure Girl again, must be a new commercial. She's insanely pretty, even prettier than an idol. I swear. Next to him, his friend suddenly tilted his head. Curiosity sparked, but why is she just a model when she's actually an S-rank healer? That question made both of them pause in realization. Yeah, now that you mention it, I've never seen her in any raids before. And the real Cure Girl they were talking about was doing everything she could to stay hidden. Back in the 2, humanity plunged into chaos due to the monster invasions. But as people often say, God only gives challenges humans are capable of overcoming, or something like that. Eventually humankind awakened a new power. They called it aura. The color of a person's aura revealed their power level. Red was the highest, followed by yellow, green, and finally blue. That scale became the standard for ranking these individuals. And those capable of standing against monsters became known as heroes. Suddenly, a loud scream broke the flow cut. The sharp click of the camera shutting off echoed across the set. The director let out a long, exhausted sigh, rubbing his temple before pointing at the monitor. Your face is way too serious. You're the face of this campaign. You can't even smile properly. What are you here for? Lee Ji-hyun. Ji-hyun quickly bowed her head. I'll do it again, she muttered quietly. I'm sorry, but inside her emotions were spiraling into a deep void. She didn't want this, not even a little. Still, after her answer, the director's mood instantly brightened. That's more like it. You look way prettier when you smile. Come on, Cure Girl, give us that signature representative smile. As soon as he finished speaking, the flash bulbs lit up one after another, accompanied by endless praise. Good, good, perfect. Now give us a bigger smile. Even though Lee Ji-hyun tried to make up for her emptiness with a professional smile, deep in her heart she couldn't shake the sadness. This wasn't the life she had dreamed of as a hero. She had dreamed of it since she was a little girl. And just a few years later she finally achieved what she had longed for. Back in middle school, Lee Ji-hyun awakened her healing ability. When she was ranked as in a class, she cried tears of joy, but then came that mission. Her team found themselves in a life-or-death situation. Her teammates were gravely injured. No matter how desperately she screamed heal until her voice was hoarse, nothing worked. There was no saving them. Her eyes filled with agony as she looked at the fallen bodies of her comrades. The word heal, once filled with hope, had turned into a word of despair. In that critical moment, she was the only one who could have saved them. But all Lee Ji-hyun could do was cry out the word again and again, heal. One of her teammates, unable to hold it in anymore, shouted in fury, damn it, hurry the hell up, heal them already. But she just sat there frozen. Even as the monster approached, Lee Ji-hyun couldn't bring herself to heal anyone. She had been so terrified that her body simply stopped responding. All she could do was watch helplessly. As her comrades were slaughtered one by one, Lee Ji-hyun, the so-called hero, couldn't even use her own skill when it mattered most. In the end, the only thing she had left to be proud of was her appearance. And so Lee Ji-hyun found herself going from one photo shoot to another day after day. As she strolled down the street deep in thought, Lee Ji-hyun muttered to herself, I ran away from everyone because I was afraid they'd see I had no real power, and now look at me. Suddenly she slammed straight into something. She cried out in pain. Opening her eyes, she found herself face to face with a utility pole. There was a piece of paper taped to it with 2 bold words that seemed to mock her. Rubbing her head, Lee Ji-hyun grumbled seriously. Even a street pole wants to pick a fight with me today. Just then, a soft meow rose from near her feet. Startled, she looked down and gasped, oh my gosh. Curled up in discomfort was a tiny, pitiful creature, a cat, she murmured curiously. Lee Ji-hyun immediately crouched down for a closer look. Oh no, are you hurt? She asked gently. You don't look like a stray. As if understanding her concern, the kitten looked up at her with the saddest, most pitiful eyes imaginable. Her heart melted instantly. Who could say no to that face, she whispered. Then something caught her eye. Around the kitten's neck was a collar with a name etched into the tag stronger. She turned and glanced across the street, where she saw a gym building. Lee Jae-hyun quickly put two and two together. That must be where you came from, stronger. Without hesitation, she walked over and peeked inside. Hello. Anyone here? I found your cat, but before she could finish, a deep, aggressive voice thundered from inside. Get your hips up higher, another man groaned miserably. I can't, it hurts too much, the first voice barked back, clearly running out of patience. Do you not trust me? Come on, just a bit more, it only hurts the first time. And then things got even weirder. He grabbed the younger man's waist and pinned it down. The first time's always rough. Push through it. Lee Ji-hyun froze mid-step, eyes wide. She stood there stunned for a full 5 seconds. Suddenly the young man turned his head and noticed her. A horse king. The first thing, someone's watching us. At his words, the beast of a man slowly turned his gaze toward the entrance. Lee Ji-hyun was instantly overwhelmed by the terrifying aura radiating from him, the horse king. She completely forgot why she'd come in the first place. With a forced, awkward smile, she stammered, sorry, I must walked into the wrong place. You too, I keep doing what you were doing. A massive arm suddenly blocked the doorway, making Lee Jae-hyun jump in fright. But instead of the intimidating presence from earlier, Horse King now wore a bright, welcoming grin. Oh wow, a new visitor at the gym, don't be scared. Come on. In his bizarre fashion only made her more terrified. Her eyes welled up with tears. Why is he dressed like a tiger? What is happening? This is terrifying. Frantically she tried to explain, and no, I brought this cat. The moment she mentioned the cat, Horse King looked down behind her. A cat, right on cue. The kitten let out a soft meow. But this time it looked unusually dapper, holding a steaming cup of milk in its tiny paw. Horse King's eyes widened in recognition. This is the kitten. Suavely lowered its glasses and gave him a flirty wink. Yeah, ecstatic. Horse King turned to call out Q Wong. Bring out some jock ball for our guest. She needs that protein right away. Kai Wong replied cheerfully, watching all of this unfold. Lee Ji-hyun was absolutely overwhelmed. Wait, what? Without warning, Horse King began inspecting her head to toe. Oh Lord, your arms are like noodles. You thirsty? Here, drink this. He handed her a bottle of something unidentifiable. Your knees look like they're about to give out. Your ankles expired years ago. My God, if you'd come in any later you'd be dead meat. As he rattled on, he backed her into a corner and declared, but don't worry. I'll train you till it's easy as freaking pie. Ji-hyun blinked, baffled. I am sorry, easy what now? Horse King gave her a grin that practically screamed danger. So wanna hire me as your PT? Panic surged through her. Well, no. I don't tea. But before she could finish, Horse King had already pulled her into a training stance, chin up, core tight, desperate to explain. She protested, wait, just listen to me. But all she got was more of his militant coaching. Backs rounding. Straighten up. She mustered every ounce of strength she had to lift the dumbbell, but it was just too heavy. I can't do it, she gasped. Horse King immediately barked out, straighten those arms, you'll injure yourself like that. After what felt like torture, he finally allowed a break, though still grumbling, all right, rest 1 minute. Then almost instantly he shifted to his cheerful self again. Good job, just 2 more sets and we're done. But Lee Ji-hyun couldn't even register his praise. She was completely spent, on the verge of collapsing. He hasn't listened to a single thing I said. We haven't even rested for 10 seconds. Suddenly a loud alert tone blared from her phone, instantly grabbing both their attention. Ji-hyun scrambled to check the screen. As she pulled up the notification, her eyes widened in shock. Emergency alert. Monster attack in Seoul, location 00 XD Street. Monster class B. Civilians must evacuate immediately. Nearest hero within 1 km radius. 1. Her breath caught in her throat. There's a monster and it's this close. I'm the only hero nearby. Her fist clenched tight as panic set in. What do I do now? Conflicting thoughts tore through her chest. Her hands trembled uncontrollably. She was terrified. Cold sweat began to drip down her neck. Even if I go there, what can I even do? Just then Horse King turned around and casually asked, bathrooms to the left just outside if you gotta take care of business. Startled, Lee Ji-hyun quickly waved her hands. No, that's not it at all. Her voice faded. Her heart sank. She wanted to say something. But in the end she swallowed her words. Yeah, that's right. Out of nowhere Horse King spoke again, firm this time. Go. The word hit her like a jolt. Her eyes widened slightly. Her hands still trembled, but even if I go. Horse King's voice softened, now steady with conviction. You want to go, don't you? Then go do what you truly want to do. Each word sank deep into her. Don't do something you'll regret later. Then, as if none of that had just happened, he turned around triumphantly, holding up a roll of toilet paper. Found it. Here's the TP. But when Horse King turned back, she was already gone. She must really had to go then. A sudden thought struck him. Wait, didn't we run out of toilet paper? A flash of worry crept into his face. Meanwhile, outside, Lee Johan was sprinting through the streets, rushing toward the scene of the monster attack. She came to an abrupt stop. In front of her was a wrecked street reduced to rubble by the monster's rampage. Nearby people were screaming for help. Please someone help us. The monster panic swelled in her chest. There's no hero here, it's just me. And then her eyes landed on it. A B-class monster, codename Namin. Real name Betty. Its ability super strength. Anything within reach could be crushed with terrifying ease. Lee Ji-hyun clenched her fists. I have to do something. No hesitation. She jumped into action. She began guiding the panicked citizens out of the area. This way, be careful. Don't bump into each other. But just a few meters ahead, a little girl was trapped under a large slab of concrete. And worse, Betty was heading straight toward her. The child sobbed in terror as somebody please help. Ji-hyun's breath caught in her throat. Her body froze. What should I do? Her legs trembled violently. No matter how hard she tried, she couldn't move. You're a hero, aren't you? Then do something. Move. Her mind screamed at her to act. But all she felt was helplessness spreading through her like poison. Tears welled up as she clenched her eyes shut. Her teeth gritted. Please don't just stand there like you're posing for a magazine shoot. Move. Suddenly her eyes snapped open. Her legs, they were moving. With no time to spare, she lunged forward and scooped the girl into her arms, dodging Betty's crushing stomp by a hair's breadth. Even she was shocked by herself. I did it. They rolled together across the pavement, tumbling to safety. Betty quickly turned its attention to them. Jihan stayed alert, shielding the girl behind her, then asked, Are you okay? Can you run? The little girl looked up in awe. Your cure, girl. That monster just showed up out of nowhere. I was so scared. Before Ji-hyun could respond, a heavy shadow loomed over them. Betty had already closed the distance. With a fierce snarl, it raised a massive fist and slammed it down toward them. Lee Ji-hyun couldn't dodge in time. She held the girl tight and shut her eyes. She could only brace for the inevitable. Just then, a man suddenly came flying out of nowhere, his fist charged with raw power. He landed a devastating punch straight into Betty's face, sending the monster hurling through the air. It crashed into several buildings before finally hitting the ground. Lee Ji-hyun gasped in relief. Thank God there's a hero nearby after all. But the moment she turned to see who had saved them, she froze. The man let out a dramatic sigh. Oh my God, he casually rolled his shoulder, revealing thick sculpted muscles. Take a good look. Standing tall in front of Lee Ji-hyun and the girl, he looked like an immovable wall. Alpha male has arrived. He turned and flashed her a grin. Lee Ji-hyun's jaw dropped. Horse King. Before she could say anything more, he clicked his tongue in disapproval. I told you the restroom was to the left, just outside the door. While they were mid-conversation, Betty had already charged up another punch, this time aimed straight at Horse King from behind. Guion screamed in panic. Right in front of you, watch out. Caught off guard, he took the full force of the hit. Blood sprayed into the air as Horse King was launched backwards. Lee Ji-hyun stared in horror. She let out a scream. But that wasn't enough to bring him down mid-air. Horse King twisted his body and landed smoothly, already regaining balance. Suddenly, a small chunk of concrete smacked into Betty. It had been thrown by none other than Horse King himself, now holding a dangerous grin, both hands gripping two more heavy stones. Without wasting a second, he hurled them straight at Betty. The monster recoiled from the impact but still pressed on with maddened fury. Closing the distance, Betty opened its jaws wide, rows of razor-sharp teeth bared. It launched a flurry of punches toward Horse King, yet he dodged each one with ease. Even when a few landed, his body showed almost no damage. Solid as stone from a distance, Lee Ji-hyun watched anxiety churning in her gut. I can't see any aura around him. Is he really just a regular human? Watching a so-called normal guy fight a B-class monster with everything he had, she couldn't understand it. Why is he putting his life on the line like this? She wanted to shout, "Run. You're going to die if you keep this up," but no words left her mouth. Only fear held her in place. In her heart, she could only wonder, isn't he afraid? Because everything about that brutal fight filled her with absolute dread. Even after taking countless punches, Horse King never stopped grinning. In fact, he suddenly burst out laughing. And the longer he laughed, the more over the top it became. He stared down the monster with a taunting smirk. "That all you got, huh? You overgrown ball of lard." Hearing that, a flicker of hope lit up in Lee Jaehyun's eyes. Wait, could it be? Does he actually have a secret weapon? At that moment, Horse King declared confidently to Betty, "You'll never beat me," because Ji-hyun held her breath, eyes shining with anticipation. Because with a dramatic flourish, Horse King spun around and pointed straight at her. With a proud, booming voice, he declared, "Because a rank Q girl is right here." As his eyes landed on her, Lee Ji-hyun froze. A beat later, her face drained of all color. "Oh." Horse King beamed with pride, his eyes full of hope and admiration, waiting for her to step up. But on her end, Lee Ji-hyun was trembling from head to toe. In all her worst nightmares, not once did she imagine she would be his secret weapon. She began frantically shaking her head, desperate to communicate the truth. "I am absolutely 100% not the answer here." Seeing her expression and the way she shook her head, Horse King's bright face slowly faded into confusion. And by the time he realized what was happening, it was already too late. Betty's massive fist was already coming down, ready to smash him to the ground. Because of all the taunting, the monster Betty lost patience and punched Horse King right in the face. Lee Jae-hyun could only silently pray, "I'm sorry." The punch sent him flying high into the air before he crashed head first into the ground like a rocket gone wrong. Horse King howled in pain, blood spilling from his mouth. Joyeon desperately tried to use her temporary healing skill, her mind a chaotic swirl of thoughts. "No, because of me I can't just sit here, please come on." Betty slammed another brutal blow into his stomach, forcing him to cough up blood again. The pain was terrifying, growing more and more distant from the two beings before her. Jaehyun grasped at the faintest hope with trembling hands, repeating over and over, "Heal, heal." Betty's attacks came like 1,000 fists, hitting all at once, moving at lightning speed. Salt tears streamed down her face as she cried out pitifully, "Heal, please heal," her heart begging desperately. Just this once. The earth shook violently with every hit. Rocks cracked and shattered into pieces, flying everywhere. Ji-hyun was exhausted and gasped for air, forcing herself to breathe slowly, trying to stay calm. Betty, too, seemed drained, sweat pouring down its face, hot breath rising. Horse King lay sprawled on the ground, battered and broken, his body stained with red. The monster shifted its attention and lumbered toward the spot where Jaehyun sat, clutching the child in her arms. At that moment, a mix of fear and helplessness almost drove her mad. Just like always, suddenly Horse King roared, catching Betty's attention. "Hey, you lizard." His gleaming teeth showed between cracked lips. Though beaten half to death, he taunted, "You've hurt my pride, you know that. What? That's it, fine. I admit you landed a hit," he continued. "But this premium body of mine has been forged in steel over many years. You're seriously underestimating it. Even looking like this, I'm still the king of the stronger gym." Betty went wild at the brat's words, its jaws opening wide, razor-sharp teeth glistening and saliva dripping like a beast starved for 1,000 years. It sent Horse King flying for another round trip. He landed in a weird crawl position, supporting himself with his hands and feet so his body didn't touch the ground. Horse King's smile twisted strangely. That hit did hurt a bit. He looked over at Lee Ji-hyun, his eyes sharp like knives, not hostile but filled with an unusual confidence. "It's not your fault," his gaze seemed to say. "So stop crying like a kid." Horse King coaxed the tearful girl, whose tears were streaming down like a waterfall. Ji-hyun bit her lip, surprised and wondering what's going on. A hero like me being comforted by a civilian. Betty was about to land a devastating blow on Horse King, swinging its muscular arm toward him. Just as he was about to get pummeled, Lee Jaehyun shouted desperately, "Just once, please." Please. Her plea was answered as a soft pink light flickered in her eyes. The power of the universe returned. From another vantage point in the city, atop a tall building looking down, all one could see was an explosion with thick smoke billowing out. Betty was stunned by this mysterious force. Horse King laughed wildly with joy. All his wounds healed instantly thanks to Lee Jaehyun's power. That's more like it. A sharp, deadly gleam appeared in her eyes, a glowing plus sign. That plus sign connected to another plus on her hand, signaling she had successfully activated her precious power. The I-rank hero Cure Girl was back with her ability to restore health and heal wounds. Simply put, healing. The battle's momentum shifted and Horse King felt thrilled. Fighting a monster alongside a beautiful girl who just awakened her power. Perfect. Betty shuddered, suddenly getting a bad feeling. And sure enough, Horse King eagerly grabbed its arm. You asked for it. He gave Betty a free sky tour as payback for all the damage. The monster was thrown violently, its back smashing into a wall, shattering bricks and stones. A concrete pillar was ripped from the ground. Horse King generously gifted Betty this one. Take this, big guy. The monster opened its mouth wide, bearing those terrifying teeth, tongue sticking out. Betty quickly regained its balance and leapt toward Horse King. Just as planned, Horse King swung the concrete pillar at it, but the difference in strength was huge. The pillar quickly cracked. It shattered into pieces. Betty's body flew backward, landing on some parked car. Horse King held his broken concrete pillar in frustration, grumbling, "What the heck? Why is this thing so weak?" From out of nowhere, Kwang came running, shouting his name. "Horse King, the nuclear weapon has arrived," he declared, tossing a giant chicken drumstick to Horse King. He skillfully caught it, his heart swelling with joy. The smell, could it be? Since 1986, with a 40-year history and tradition, this was none other than Jang Chum-dong. At first Lee Jaehyun was curious, but half a second later her mind was blown. A jumbo pork hot. Horse King bit into the meat of the drumstick. Instantly his whole body soared. "Damn, this tastes amazing," he thought, "like protein spreading through every fiber of my being. Truly a delicacy of the mortal world." Betty growled irritably as it got up, its fighting spirit completely drained by this human's mockery. It glared at him, then like lightning it dashed through the city so fast it was almost invisible. Betty tried to attack Horse King while he was casually eating, ignoring the fight, but just as it was about to strike, Horse King suddenly burst out laughing. The monster froze in confusion, its fists halted mid-swing. His punch was blocked by the jumbo drumstick. "You know what they say, never interrupt a meal," Horse King taunted. "Or maybe you want a taste?" Before Betty could react, Horse King launched his counterattack. Protein power activated the protein hammer. The drumstick slammed into the center of Betty's head. Then a flurry of attacks followed, 74-94 blows with the drumstick. A seamless protein dodge, a foot stomp, and the protein hammer again. He yanked open Betty's mouth and stuffed the drumstick inside, pulling down on the monster's entire jaw. Despite the relentless assault, Betty found an opening and struck back. Horse King's cheeks sucked in from the hit. He just smirked coldly. "Let me teach you some manners. Protein overload, pork hot crunch casing compound." For every punch Horse King took, Betty got hit by the drumstick just as many times. The monster gave one last desperate blow. Lee Jaehyun quickly healed him. The drumstick in Horse King's muscles fully restored. He leapt high into the air, ready to deliver the finishing blow. His face contorted with effort as he shouted at the top of his lungs. The monster Betty wasn't any less fierce. But this time the victor was clear. Both charged at each other, fighting fiercely. As dust swirled and rocks flew everywhere, obscuring the scene, after a while, the battle ended. Lee Jaehyun stared in disbelief. She looked up at the sky, turning the color of dusk. The monster lay defeated, motionless on the ground. Horse King extended his hand toward her, speaking quietly, "Your story starts here, right?" He was carrying the chicken drumstick over his shoulder, shirtless, with blood still smeared on his body. Lee Jaehyun hesitated, not responding right away. She had a feeling, but then she smiled softly, thinking, "Not now." She was tricked into stamping her fingerprint on the gym's new member contract, her mind racing. wondering if this time something would be different. Her ink-stained fingertip pressed down on the paper. Li Ji, I instantly regretted it. Meanwhile, Horse King grinned with a devilish smile. He jumped up excitedly. We've got a new member. Kai Wang next to him wagged his butt in celebration. Awesome. She was left completely speechless inside. She screamed yes, this was the bad feeling. Those two were laughing at the pain of others. That's just how it was in Horse King's gym. He was strictly training Li Jihan to lift weights. Don't mess around, lift that weight. Discipline is everything. Since it was her first time, the whole thing felt pretty tough. She frowned and complained. What the heck is going on? Why am I doing this? Jihan remembered Horse King's sweet talk earlier on the battlefield. Congrats on becoming a new member of Easy Fun Gym, Miss Jihan. She tried to refuse no thanks, but he completely cut her off. Personal unlimited training for $100 a month all year round. I'll personally take care of you with one-on-one sessions. Oh my Jihan. You just hit the jackpot. His creepy grin made her shudder. From now on I'll become the strongest creature on this planet, she thought back in reality. Unaccustomed to the intense workout, the weight immediately dropped to the floor. Horse King shouted, what do you think you're doing? Lift it up, discipline. Ji-hyun started crying pitifully. I want to go home. Her hands trembled and went numb. I have no strength left. Thinking about that, her mood sank, her gaze distant. Why am I like this? That day, she suddenly felt an enormous power inside her, something she had never experienced before. Maybe I can use my ability now. She didn't understand why, but wondered if it had something to do with Horse King. If I'm near him, maybe I can use that power again, but not like this. Lost in her thoughts. Horse King barked, breaks over. Start again from the first set. Suddenly a sound came from behind. Li Ji-hyun turned around. A cute little kitten was rubbing its cheek against her workout pants. Ji-hyun smiled, petting and playing with the kitten. Her mood lifted. Is this little guy comforting me? Thanks, she silently gave it a thumbs up. Nicely played, carrot and stick technique. Then a cold water bottle was pressed against her neck, making her jump. Ki-won was holding it. He came over to encourage her. The first time is always the hardest. Don't let yourself get dehydrated, okay? Lee Jae-yoon smiled with squinted eyes. Thanks, Ki-won. He grabbed her bag and kept talking. It's tough now, but the sweat you shed today will turn into muscles tomorrow. If you plant the seed, it will grow. An old notebook slipped out from a slightly open drawer. Jihan was still focusing but thought, that actually makes sense. Then she noticed something and reminded him, Kai Wang, you dropped something. He groaned. Ah, that's a secret. Lee Johan was curious. A secret? Kyung explained. It's a movie script. I'm doing some acting on the side. Her interest and curiosity sparked. Oh really? Can I take a look? He wasn't very willing but still agreed. Sure, of course. Johan took the script and read it. She felt sympathy for Kai Wang. So you're the villain and a side villain at that. You must be pretty disappointed not getting the lead role. He quickly shot that down. No way. Johan asked why not. Chio Wang scratched his neck humbly. This is a role that people hate both on stage and in real life, but to make the hero shine, villains are necessary, so I'm actually satisfied playing my part. He smiled brightly like sunshine, winning hearts all around. Honestly, I really enjoy playing the villain. That light warmed the cold dark soul of Lee Jihan. Kayam was casually wiping a weight plate, wondering if he should increase the load today. He had no idea the beautiful girl was secretly admiring him. Kyung was truly admirable. His spirit was strong, never once complaining about training. I need to get his autograph sometime, she thought. A loud clang startled Lee Ji-hyun. Kyu Wang was struggling with a weight way too heavy, his whole body trembling. She anxiously asked, Kyu Wang, are you okay? His face twisted grotesquely. Jihan screamed in fear. Horse King. Kyu Wang's about to get crushed. Horse King yelled, hey, what the hell do you think you're doing? Useless hero like you just gives me a headache. The more he scolded, the more terrified she felt. Horse King, what are you doing? Kyung's about to be squashed. Kyung was gasping but still muttering. No way. Jae-hyung grew more confused. She had no idea what was going on. Horse King kept on yelling harder, you little bootlicker. Have you even paid rent for this weight? Or maybe you already paid the house rent too. You pathetic weakling, your arms are weaker than dried fish. Can't even lift medium weights. What good is eating all that chicken for? Hyun's muscles were flexing. Veins popping looked scary. Almost there. Horse King continued his special motivation. Look at that elbow, why isn't it straight? You planning to cry and call your mom to rescue you? I'm the great design and you're nothing at all. Go tell everyone you came to my gym and I beat you up badly. Pack your stuff and get out of my gym right now. Kaiwong was near his limit. Damn, just a little more. Finally, with all his strength, he managed to lift the weight up. Still taunting, come on, insult me some more. Horse King wasn't backing down either. Do you want me to train you until you piss blood? Q Wong muttered back, almost there, just a little more. Johan finally realized these two weren't normal. She was speechless. After lifting the weight, his face flushed back to a healthy pink, a proud smirk spreading across. Horse King continued with detailed instructions. Put your power into your hips and hold your breath. When you exhale, I'll smash you. Got it? Suddenly Lee Johan's phone rang. It was a request for support in reconstruction and cleanup. She hesitated a bit before deciding call them in. Seems like they're handling the leftover debris from last time. Chio Wong responded quickly. Then let's go. Before Jihan could stop him, Chio Wong dashed off at lightning speed. She was genuinely worried. Will he be okay? It could be dangerous, but the worry seemed unnecessary. Horse King lazily picked his nose. Dangerous? Didn't I tell you he's a B-class hero? Hearing that, Lee Juhyan was shocked out of her mind. What? At the city's recovery rally point, heroes from A to C ranks gathered in large numbers. Everyone was doing their part, some using powers to clean up concrete and broken bricks. Others just with pure muscle. Horse King and Lee Jihan arrived too, looking for their teammates first. When they spotted him, Horse King said, "There's Kaiwong, let's get started." Jihan nodded. "Yes, sir." A voice called from behind, "Hey, you're Q girl, right?" Jihan turned to see a blonde young man, apparently her fan eyes shining brightly. "Oh wow, it's really you. I saw your TikTok, the candy skewer challenge." In his hand was a phone playing a video of Johan's ad, dressed in a tight nurse outfit, looking confident and charming with a mischievous sparkle in her eyes under bright lights. The guy set the phone aside to film his idol live, then asked eagerly, "Awesome. Can you do that challenge for me? If I post this on Instagram, it'll go viral for sure." Jihan politely declined. "Sorry, I'm on duty right now." He grabbed her hand, roughly pulling her back, laughing and making harassment remarks. "Oh, come on, stop pretending, cure girl. Doing missions like this, don't be so stingy. Just once, or you can shake your butt instead." This made Ji-hyun hurt and scared. "Please let go." The fan was stubborn, not letting her go. "How about I invite you out tonight, Malatang, okay? Don't make a fuss." Jihan was about to cry. "Please stop." Suddenly, "Malatang," a girl shouted, making both struggle to turn their heads. Horse King was awkwardly imitating her moves from the video, waving his arms and legs like a cheesy dance. The two were frozen in place. Horse King imitated the cute moves with his voice, but when a macho guy says it, it's downright creepy. "Hey, can I take that meal instead? And instead of malatang, let's eat some pork knuckles, okay?" Lee Ji-hyun wiped sweat off her brow, her eyes full of confusion and a bit of disgust. Clearly very uncomfortable with the situation unfolding. The blonde guy angrily grabbed Horse King's shirt and shouted, "So it was you, you bastard." Horse King looked confused and asked innocently, "Huh? Maybe you're misunderstanding. Does it have to be malatang for sure?" The guy screamed with a hateful face. "It was you, that damn son of a." Flashback to winter 3 years ago, near a fish stall with a no smoking sign posted. Yet someone stubbornly lit a cigarette anyway, with curses flying. "Those damn kids are driving me crazy." Two young guys, one blonde, one brown-haired, were listening as the other bragged, "So I scared those kids so bad they wet their pants and cried for their moms. I even threatened to go after their parents too." Every now and then the blonde guy chimed in for fun, "Do you remember their faces, man? If I see them again, I'll knock them out cold." Their story was cut short by Horse King. Standing shirtless in the freezing winter air, hands on hips, he shouted, "Hey, you smoking in the no-smoking zone. Put that out now." The brown-haired guy, looking down on him, flicked his cigarette, butted Horse King and mocked. "Who's this hairy dude? It's winter. Put on some clothes. Who are you showing off for? You want to pick a fight? Get lost before I smash you." He put a hand on Horse King's shoulder in a pseudo-friendly way and said, "Hey, how do you talk to adults like that?" He stepped closer and started acting out a scene for him. "Sorry, sir. We didn't know this was a no-smoking area." Horse King half closed his eyes, sarcastically, "Don't know smoking reduces sperm count. You know, give me their cigarettes, I'll sacrifice myself for you." No sooner had he said that than a bunch of torn paper fragments were thrown at him. The blond guy ripped a no-smoking notice off the pole and laughed loudly. Well, now what do you say? This whole place is a smoking zone now. Horse King's face darkened, anger flaring up inside him. A scrap of paper still stuck on his cheek. They started insulting and cursing him, no different from a bunch of loudmouth bitches. What's the matter now? You can smoke, huh? Deaf or what? Didn't you hear me? You're the craziest one here. Look at that bastard's face. Think men aren't allowed to cry? Come on, crying a little won't kill you. What, you think you're some kind of superstar or something? Words turned to violence. The guy raised his fist to punch Horse King. Alright, if you don't want to fight, I'll punch until tears fly. A cigarette but dropped onto a yellow puddle on the ground. That guy was completely frozen in mid-air by Horse King. His face was beaten badly and she was lifted up. Meanwhile, Horse King stared at him with a look that could kill, instantly back to the present. The one grabbing her this time was him, but he was more relaxed than ever. Hey, high school kid. Long time no see, quit smoking yet? He gritted his teeth. A hand grabbed his wrist tightly. The guy cursed fiercely. You bastard, you're still as dumb as ever. Do you know how long I've been looking for you? Now I've grown up. A sly smile appeared on his face, full of murderous intent and rising heat. Horse King was stunned. The calm flame technique activated. A blazing fire erupted between them. From Lee Jihan's perspective, it looked like he was about to be burned alive. She anxiously called out, Horse King, has he awakened? His eyes were drowned in flames of hatred. I'm not like before. A still unawakened punk like you has to pay. You planning to keep quiet? I'll be in your mind forever, high school kid. He acted tough and fierce. But one punch from Horse King sent him flying. His body was blasted into the air like a rocket, and he slammed his head into the ground. He was more beaten up than ever, blood flowing, teeth broken and scattered on the floor. Horse King stood with his hands on his hips, starting to lecture, with this kind of strength and you don't even bother training, you think you can hurt me? I've been grinding these muscles for years. You don't even have basic skills. Go back and relearn, dumbass. Lee Jihan wasn't quite on board with that idea. She silently thought not getting burned is normal for Horse King. A chilling voice from afar made him jump. Jihan, curious, looked over. She caught sight of plump pink lips. Oh my god, look who's here. Hey, there's some loud noise. Turns out it's our Fin Jim Appa. Was this fate? Those lips belonged to the so-called Heart King. And a rank hero. He walked over slowly. Long time no see, babe. I'm so glad, but could you step aside a bit? Jihan looked at Horse King, puzzled. They know each other. Heart King pressed his face against Horse King's chest, running his hand over him, praising, damn, this body is rock solid. This feeling is so damn exciting. This gesture ignited her own feelings. No way could it be Horse King. But the flame barely sparked before it was completely snuffed out. Horse King's face twisted in a mixture of anger and fear. When Heart King started licking his skin, admiring those once beautiful shoulder muscles and popping veins, looking like he wanted to devour them, Horse King couldn't hold back and yelled. He ran like crazy, screaming, help me, Heart King. Heart King chased after him. Don't run, stay there. Horse King was terrified out of his mind. I don't need you to leave, okay? I said I don't need it. Of course Heart King wouldn't let go. Let me make you feel good like last time. Lee Jihan was speechless, not knowing what to do. She wondered what the hell is going on. Her kindness made her still worried about that obsessed fan. Are you okay if you move, Yule? Before she could finish, he jumped up and hit her, sending Jiam flying aside. Get away, that hairy bastard. I won't forgive him. Easy fun, he snarled. Easy fun game. That damn bastard, just wait, I'll burn everything down. His anger exploded. Lee Jihan frozen place, staring at him. It took her a long moment before she spoke up to stop him. Wait. He glared at her. Jihyun tried to clarify, burn everything down? What do you mean? I can't let you do that. Besides, you started this mess. Aren't you ashamed, using dirty tricks just because you don't have the skills? Horse King had beaten him badly, yet his idol still shouted at him. He completely lost control. Shut up, idiot. Who do you think you are? Say one more word and I'll start with you. She fired back just as fiercely. According to Rule 23 Clause 6, awakened individuals are forbidden from using their powers on civilians. You used yours on a civilian, Horse King. Do you even realize how serious that crime is? This clearly attempted murder. At that moment the fear in her was replaced by a resilient courage. If you plan to cause more trouble, I will stop you as a hero. No longer was there any hint of admiration in her eyes, now she even looked down on his idol. You're just a handsome asshole, nothing but a pretty face. What else do you even do? His power flared fiercely. Enough to send her flying again. Yet Lee Ji-hyun felt nothing. When she opened her eyes, she saw his body collapsed on the ground, held back by a yellowish slime. Another wave of panic hit Ji-hyun. What the hell? A growling voice like a debt collector approached from afar. Who's got the candied hawthorn? Wherever it passed, it left sticky yellow puddles on the pavement. It complained to everyone, my hands are shaking, my head spinning. Its entire body was a dense yellow mass like a lump of honey melted down. That was the fat candied hawthorn monster. It opened its mouth wide, eager to snatch candy, starving for hawthorn candy. Where's the candied hawthorn? Give it to me. The fat candied hawthorn monster opened its huge mouth. Sticky with dripping sugar, roaring Tonghulu. Where is it? Give it to me. Lee Ji-hyun froze and took a few steps back. Her system displayed information about the fat candy hawthorn monster code G1804. A class, a monster. Its skill was stomach acid that sprayed out a sticky and sweet mixture, immobilizing and suffocating its targets. She grew anxious. What kind of situation was this? Why would a class, a monster, appear now? She thought helplessly. Tonghulu's not here. Though it was big and fat. Its mind was still sharp. Angered by her words, the fat candied hawthorn stomped its feet, opened its mouth wide and screamed, don't lie, I'm about to faint, give it to me now. The one destined to bear the full brunt of that burning liquid was definitely her. The moment the liquid poured down, a protective bubble formed around her body, shielding her from harm. The monster called out confusedly. Tang Lee Ji-hyun slowly opened her eyes, seeing herself safely inside the bubble. Surprised at the sight, what is this? Kimura's voice rang out, hey, you move aside. You're blocking the way at once. The fat candied hawthorn was trapped inside a hot iron cage that began to close around it. Each iron bar pressed tightly against its flesh, causing it to steam, yet it could not resist or escape. In just a moment its size shrank considerably, leaving only growls escaping its throat. Lee Johan looked up and whispered, are you recognizing the mischievous face? She suddenly shouted, Class S hero Yura Yura. She composed herself, telling Lee Jae-hyun not to make a fuss. The system showed her real name was Kim Yura, with the skill of imaginative transformation. She was a freelance hero who had left the Hero Association. Both of them forgot the monster behind. The fat candied hawthorn seemed to have adapted to the situation and used that to increase its power, opening its mouth for a loud laugh. Lee Jahan noticed and quietly turned her head to look behind. Wait, no way. Sure enough, the fat candied hawthorn's hand reached out, trying to grab something with its drooling tongue, hungry and greedy. Sweet Tuha. She cast a pleading glance at Yura. Oh no, her ability. Kimura harshly criticized the monster's disgusting sticky behavior. Then she summoned a super-powered hammer and smashed it hard on the monster's head, cursing gross. Go away. The fat candied hawthorn looked up and only managed to growl Hulu before taking the full brunt of the hammer, gradually getting smashed to pieces and disappearing. Lee Ji-hyun, still a bit scared, covered her eyes with her hand. When she opened them again, everything was over. She looked at Yura with admiration. Amazing, she said, then asked, you look familiar. Who are you? The girl blushed, smiling brightly. Ah yes, I met you once at the Hero Association. I'm Cure Girl Kim. Yura looked puzzled. Cure Girl? Oh, that funny kid from back then. Lee Ji-hyun raised an eyebrow, displeased, and asked, huh? Did you just say that? Yura quickly waved her hand to change the subject. She's not here anymore, so where's he gone? A sharp yell from Horse King rang out, no Yami. Kadasai Johan hurried over and saw Heart King clutching Horse King, tightly kissing him passionately. Horse King. What's going on? Kim. Yura swiftly ran over and appeared right in front of the two. Hearing those inappropriate sounds, she blushed and called out to stop him. Heart King. She managed to pull them apart, then scolded in a sulky tone. Oh my God, without me you can't do anything. Fine, no need to thank me. Before he could reply, a beauty appeared beside Horse King. Soothing him, Horse King stopped crying. He was still sniffling, wiping tears away. She held his hand to reassure him, calm down, I'm here. Kim Yura, feeling her moment was stolen, darkened her expression and stared at the two with hatred. Now calm Horse King withdrew his hand and looked at the person in front of him. I was so scared I barely escaped. Before he could finish, Kimura's face lit up brightly. Oh, look who it is, Yura. Yura Horse King waved excitedly and asked, "Hey, how long has it been? Why haven't you come to the gym?" Instantly he took a hit from her, a strong strike. Without changing her expression, she criticized, "Disgusting." Lee Jihan realized, wait, do they know each other? A sound made her shiver again. It really hurts. Tonghulu, though just hit by Yura Horse King, stood up easily and carried the beauty away from danger, warning her, "Be careful." Lee Jihan whispered, "Horse King." He returned her gaze tenderly. "It's dangerous. Are you okay?" She politely replied, "Yes, thank you." He laughed heartily, "No problem." Kim Yura couldn't stand the affection between them and clenched her teeth. That slut. She glanced at Lee Jihan's body, constantly judging. Look at her, pretending to be an angel. That dull figure, such an outdated thing, pretending to be cute. Yura faked a fall to attract his attention. Ouch, I slipped. Her act was so soft and adorable that no one could resist. Before he could save her, the fat Candied Hawthorne came rushing back to cause trouble. Tonghulu. Forcing him to call out, "Yura, help me." The monster ran in circles, complaining, "No Tangulu. You liar, you evil one." Yuri looked annoyed and scolded. "Don't you know how to read the situation, you disgusting thing?" the monster whimpered. Hulu. When Horse King grabbed her waist tightly, she immediately made it vanish. "No room for you here, go away," he said triumphantly. Lee Ji-hyun was impressed. "Amazing, so this is a Class S hero." A flash of light appeared, freezing the monster solid. The fat Candied Hawthorne stood still, completely frozen like a statue. He smiled happily. "It's frozen into stone now, so hard." Horse King praised her. "Well done, Yura." Yura teased him, "You're not gonna just stand there all day, are you?" Immediately she equipped him with a full combat outfit. Like regaining his energy, he was ecstatic. "Thank you so much, Yura. Thanks to you, I can." Before he could finish, he surprised him again. There was more, a sleek rocket he owned, which made him love it even more. "Absolutely awesome, that's the one." Horse King, mentally prepared, exclaimed, "Good." Loaded up immediately. He was fired straight at the fat Candied Hawthorne, causing it to panic and cry out, "Hulu." He was like a nuclear bomb launched right into its belly, shattering it into pieces. The battle was truly just beginning. He gradually destroyed everything on its body, from its arms, smashing them to its belly, the fat, and finally its entire body shattered into tiny fragments. Vanishing into thin air outside, Lee Jihan and Kim Yura watched like two extremes, one side worried but somewhat admiring, the other smug because he had done well. Horse King's whole body seemed to be on fire as he said his final words, "Goodbye, obesity." Lee Jihan was stunned, having just seen a pinkish-red light envelop him. How that aura just now, no way. Looking at him now back to normal, she still couldn't believe it. Horse King had no powers, didn't he? Could she have been mistaken? He waved to her. "Jayan, are you hungry? Shall we go get something to eat?" Yura was startled. She was still a bit dazed and hesitant. "Eat, yes." Leaving her behind, Horse King and Yura walked ahead, chatting. "I was so cool just now, right? Like boom. Then I shot up and took it down," he said. She pouted. "Stop overdoing it." This scene made Jihan feel a little sad. She lowered her head and thought to herself, "Yeah, this time I also." The four of them looked at the food on the table, disappointed. This dish again. Braised pork knuckle. Horse King wanted to shout at Yura for her criticism. "Be quiet, don't diss my protein," but she crossed her arms and retorted, "You eat this all the time, you pervy old man." Only Q Huang's normal. "Thanks for the meal, though." He picked up a piece of braised pork, peeled the meat off, and sweet-talked her. All right, I'll pick the meat off for you. Stop complaining and eat." Yura still looked a bit sulky but said, "Well, if you're begging me like that." Yet inside, fireworks were bursting. What's going on? He's gone crazy suddenly. So manly. Suddenly he turned to Jaehyun, holding up a piece of pork knuckle and inviting, "Now come on, Jaehyun, let's eat together." She got angry. "You bastard, are you serious?" Seeing the expression on her face, John waved her hand to refuse. "I'm fine, I'm not that hungry." But her stomach seemed to have a mind of its own, growling loudly, caught in a lie. He pleaded with her, "Come on, look here." Kaiwang, noticing her awkward expression, asked him, "What's wrong, Jihan? You don't like this dish?" Yura slammed the table in irritation. "Shut up. Don't feed that kid too much or she'll keel over." Jihan thought up a reason to decline. "Actually, I'm on a diet." She couldn't admit she was just feeling off and didn't have an appetite. But this made Horse King even angrier and he pressured her more. Dieting is one thing, but extreme dieting is bad. You have to eat enough nutrients to stay healthy. Now try a few bites. Then do 3 sets of 10 reps for each exercise. He kept pushing her. Open your mouth now. She kept refusing awkwardly. Really, I'm okay. Unable to bear it, he slammed the table and ordered right now. Flustered, she grabbed the food and ate immediately. The moment she bit into the first piece, the tender meat melted in her mouth, sending her mind into another world. This flavor, she could almost see a pair of dancing pigs on her tongue. What was this? Oh right, it was a fiery tango, she blurted out. Praise delicious. He asked again. Huh? What did you say? Ji-hyun quickly stuffed more bites into her mouth. Really, really delicious. He was genuinely happy to see her enjoying the food. Yura, seeing Ji-hyun praised, refused to be outdone and grabbed a piece to eat quickly. Did you think I'd lose to her? He looked over and complimented you too. Your protein is #1. I love pork knuckle at the gym. In the quiet space, Lee Ji-han was still struggling to lift weights. Finally finishing, she let out a sigh of relief and walked over to the mirror to take a look. Looking at herself in the mirror, she gently touched her small face and exclaimed, "Feels like I've completely changed. I've been eating better and I no longer feel as depressed as before." Thinking of Horse King, she reflected. It must be thanks to those workouts from Horse King. Suddenly, as if sensing someone behind her, she quickly turned around cautiously. Sure enough, behind her stood a person with a cardboard box on their head. Eyes bloodshot, posture crooked, lips moving silently. My brother, startled by the sight. She took a few steps back, her legs feeling weak, her voice trembling. She asked the stranger in front of her, Who are you?" The person hurriedly took off the box, revealing a tear-streaked face, sobbing desperately. "Please stop, my brother." Dave's little sister began to recount everything. Since they lost their parents when they were young, her brother had done everything to make up for it, working tirelessly day and night. She recalled the hard times Dave went through taking care of her while saving money. He even managed to save enough to send her abroad to study. Thanks to him, she graduated from university and just returned to Korea a few days ago. But he has become strange. He's not just acting weird, but often doesn't come home. Confused, she added, so I decided to find out where he goes. I disguised myself and followed him. Understanding, Lee Ji-hyun tried to comfort her. "You don't have to hide here, you know," but the girl reacted firmly. "No, I saw him with my own eyes." The girl recalled hiding behind a door and saw a very suspicious figure. Most striking was that he wore nothing but a special pair of underwear printed with a tiger design. The cult leader wears tiger print underwear. She looked up resolute. "I'm sure my brother has been brainwashed by that cult leader." Lee Ji-han was stunned. Was she talking about Horse King? Smiling gently, she reassured the girl, "Actually, this place is just for training. You must have misunderstood." Before she could finish, a chilling noise came from the door, grabbing their attention. Both of them trembled and hid, staring toward the sound. "What is that?" From the door came a series of sounds like, "Haha, you up, go to hell, go to hell." The reflection showed a bloody scene. The destruction and violence worrying her even more. "They're still saying go to hell, no." Unable to stand by and watch, she quickly pulled aside the curtain and rushed in to stop them. "Wait, what are you doing?" In front of her stood a strange group of people, their faces twisted with extreme malice. Their dirty eyes fixed on her. One of them immediately reached out to grab her. The moment had come. Go to hell. Just when she thought she would be torn apart on the spot, the thing slipped past her, or maybe missed her, startling her. What was that? Looking at the bloody scene inside, Dave's little sister nearly fainted. She could still stand but trembled. Blood. Who are these people? Following their footsteps, she decided for now to follow them. Lee Ji-hyun and Dave's sister stealthily trailed behind. The girl anxiously said, "I'm not sure because of the disguises, but I'm certain one of them is my brother." Ji-hyun nodded, understanding. "So that's it. I didn't think we should just let them roam free like that." After waiting, that figure appeared again. Look, she glanced to follow. What's that? They followed an old lady. And one of them cautiously reached out to take her bag. "Give it here," fearing harm would come to the woman. Jihan rushed out to stop them. "Ma'am, be careful." But things were not as she expected. They were just helping the old lady carry her bag, piggybacking her and helping her cross the street. She couldn't believe it, huh? The two exchanged whispered looks. What's wrong with these people? What is going on? After crossing the street, their true nature emerged, tongues licking greedily. Go to hell, old woman. She was sure she wasn't mistaken. Something was definitely wrong. Dave's sister peered closely behind. Ah, there it is again. A little boy was crying because his ball got stuck in a tree. The group approached from behind, pulling out a large hammer, seemingly ready to smash the boy. Ji-hyun panicked, rushing forward, shouting no. They instead struck the tree hard, not the boy. The force knocked the ball loose, returning it to the boy. The silver-haired one grabbed the ball and handed it back to the boy with an excited expression. Nice kick. Now kid, get ready to go. Jahan hesitated, unwilling to take another step forward, watching as the group played with the boy. What did they want? Seeing no ill intent, she turned to Dave's sister, uncertain. Should we keep following them? The girl, eager to find her brother, firmly replied yes, we should. The cloaked figures looked mysterious. Only their enigmatic smiles were visible, other expressions hard to read. Lee Ji-hun thought to herself, they must all be gathering in one place. The girl had noticed too. Look, they're paying with determination. Jean realized this is truly an organization, a cult. If so, I have to stop them. She dressed Dave's sister in disguise like the others earlier, her voice trembling. Face twisted into a sinister expression to intimidate. Go to hell, the girl repeated, the ugly face sticking out her tongue. Die, go to hell. Just as she was about to say the second phrase, she bumped her head on the door frame. Go to hell, the guard, though suspicious, still allowed the two inside. The girl, dazed from the bump, fell backward, while Jihan no longer felt afraid since they had managed to get inside. The girl rubbed the bump on her head and smiled. The plan worked perfectly. She gestured, come this way, I think they're in this room. The door opened, revealing a mysterious deep red light inside. Everyone wore hooded cloaks, faces obscured, unreadable. Loud pounding music played. The figure on stage turned, stirring the crowd. Now the gates of hell are open. Recognizing the familiar voice, the girl trembled. That voice, it's my brother. Ji-hyun was stunned. Is it really him on stage? They pushed long table stained with blood. The announcer asked, are you ready, brothers? The man pushing the car raised his hand and threw off his mask that covered his face. Go to hell. Johan was shocked to realize the man was none other than Horse King. He stood on the table dancing while the crowd below chanted along to the music, shouting non-stop, go to hell. Go to hell. Johan felt confused, unable to blend in, wondering what was going on. The words echoed in her ears, die. Didi. She suspected, are they all from Easy Fun Gym? Her eyes widened as she realized. They're all part of the same gang. She looked at Horse King's strange smile. Could it be Horse King is really the leader of this cult? His comrade stepped forward to declare. The King of Hell has ordered its sacrifice for him. Lee Ji-hun panicked at the word sacrifice. Looking up, she saw Horse King raise a knife, ready to strike down by my own hand. Afraid he might do something reckless, she pushed through the crowd to get a better look. What is he going to do then? The blade came down sharply, and a red liquid splattered everywhere. Jihan's heart seemed to skip a beat, suspended in midair. She could hardly believe her eyes. On stage, those people continued their wild dance, laughing maniacally. Cool, ha ha ha. Rejoice, brothers. The recent scene made her legs weak. They gave out beneath her, yet the voices echoed in her ears. This is what we want, what we have been begging for. One by one pastries flew toward them, accompanied by sweet invitations. A perfect burger full of juicy tomatoes, carbs, protein and fats. She suddenly realized the red liquid she saw earlier was ketchup, her face freezing in surprise. The music performance was now truly beginning. They own the stage now. We have everything we need to build muscle. Let's get pumped, everyone, follow me and shout. The music blared, lights shone down, highlighting their physiques and powerful vocals. Mega deadlift up, mega deadlift up. Ji-hyun was confused, and Dave's sister stood close to her, watching the dancing crowd. What the heck is going on? From the stage, a banner dropped, displaying bold letters, all ticket proceeds would be donated to improve the city. Ji-hyun was puzzled, a charity concert. Recalling everything that had happened that day, she wondered, what was it all about? Were they only concerned about the city's citizens? How could good deeds look so strange? The performance troupe. Then brought out fitness exercises on stage, encouraging everyone. Military presses, keep the pace. Keep repeating, come on up, easy peasy, show me that burning passion up, look at this squat up. Shout out the strength of your muscles. Lift that barbell to your shoulders. Even if you're offbeat, rock it hard up, easy peasy, show me that fiery passion up, look at this squat up. Shout out the strength of your muscles. Dave's sister smiled through tears, overwhelmed with joy. So happy seeing the joy in her brother's eyes. And the good things he'd done today, she felt reassured. I was really scared he had changed. I was so foolish. It was all a big misunderstanding. She wiped away tears of happiness. Though he wore makeup that made him look scary, her brother was making everyone happy. Just like he always did. Their passionate devotion to music and the audience enthusiasm gave her a new perspective. She was moved. Dave sang each line as if engraving it into every heart. She realized it didn't matter whether they were A-list heroes or S-rank heroes. The important ones here were those who had the power to make others happy. Looking at them, admiration shone in her eyes. They were the true heroes. She gradually joined the rhythm with Dave's sister singing along up, easy peasy, show me that burning passion. The sound of guitars singing and everyone's chorus form the most beautiful image up, look at this squat up. Shout out the strength of your muscles up, easy peasy. Show me that burning passion up, see my stance here up, give it your all up 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 down to hell. The sound of clinking glasses echoed. Everyone shouting in unison cheers. Dave leaned back, savoring his break while reminiscing about the earlier glory. Today's performance was really amazing. The audience's reaction when it was his turn was explosive. Some even considered jumping on stage themselves. Just as Horse King started to sing, barely getting a few words out, especially about the ketchup, someone played a dirty trick and splashed water on his face. Dave smiled smugly, fully satisfied. This is more like it. Horse King jumped up, wildly shouting, my eyes. Knowing how things would turn out, he had already run away. Furious, Horse King yelled, hey, come back here, you bastard. Dave taunted back, catch me if you can. If you can't, you're a dog. With that, they chased each other all around the break room. Kimura crossed her arms, leaning against the door frame with a sneer. We just got here, and what the heck are these guys doing? Lee Johan looked around confused, not knowing who they were. Dave's fierce passion for teasing was still going strong. Horse King. If you can't catch me, how are you living up to your name, idiot? His sister advised him, stop causing trouble. Apologize already. Li Jian froze at the mention of him. She racked her brain, trying to force it to find another explanation. But the truth was unchanged. Wait a minute, she looked at the handsome faces in front of her. No way were these really the Mega Dead Band. Ji-hyun couldn't imagine that those creepy clowns from the band were actually these guys, two guitarists. A drummer, a bassist, and the lead singer. She found it very confusing. How could such handsome guys wear such makeup? Kim, you're aside. I told you they were losers. Now it was Dave's turn to get roughed up.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
Horse King, furious, refused to let it go. Try messing with me again, see what happens. But then it seemed like something was under his butt. Horse King realized he couldn't hold it anymore. Don't get up yet, wave goodbye. I'll deal with you after I finish in the bathroom, just wait. Dave collapsed on the floor. Cheong eagerly asked, can I come too? Let me come with you in the bathroom hallway. The two chatted happily. Today was so much fun, huh? Fun, no way, I don't like those guys. A gentle female voice made the two stop and turn around to look at the beauty. Excuse me. The speaker was a girl wearing pink with short curly brown hair and a cute friendly face. Horse King's eyes lit up. My first female fan, huh? If it's possible, the girl stammered, but before she could finish he interrupted, of course you can. As a result, she was tossed aside. Hey, could you please move out of the way? The girl hurried over to Kaiwang. You're the guy from the initiation ceremony earlier, right? Do you have a girlfriend yet? He looked embarrassed. Not yet. The girl brightened. Great. This is my chance, so remember to text me, okay? I'll be waiting for that message. No one paid attention to the poor horse guy lying there crying because of the girl's harsh as rejection. Dave was chatting with another group member. I heard the charity money from the concert has been safely sent. Both of them said in unison, awesome. Lee Jihan glanced at Kim Yura. She also wanted to find someone to talk to and avoid feeling lonely. Although they looked silly, they were really nice. She sighed. Those two have a big influence. Dave was singing and dancing to music about workouts. Johan was curious, so Yuri explained Horse King, and the bassist had traveled everywhere helping people who lost their families or were attacked by monsters. Those who had received their help gathered to form a band, using the money from concerts to aid people in need, just like how those two had helped them. Lee Ji-hyun smiled softly. She felt happier than ever. Horse King was a bit strange, but seeing the people around him, he truly was a source of positive energy. Maybe that's why being around him. That comment made Kim Yura so jealous her eyes turned red, though she still tried to look calm. That brat, she muttered. When Jihan asked how she got to know those two, she looked like longtime close friends. Yura blushed and her attitude flipped 180 degrees. Me and Horse King. Since when? Flashback to Kimura's past. She was once an overweight girl putting all her effort into training. Until she collapsed on a treadmill. Her foot stepped on a metal plate underneath. That caused Kimura to fall to the floor. Everyone around looked on worriedly. She didn't collapse. Instead, she clung tightly to the metal bar. Determined to pull herself back up, anger fueled her as she punched the bar repeatedly. Horse King stepped forward to stop her. Hey kid, that's enough. You've been doing aerobics for 3 hours straight. I don't mean any harm, but Kim, your back then was very stubborn. Just go away. He gently tried to comfort her. It's okay, there's nothing to be ashamed of, even though I look like this. I'm the owner of Easy Fun Gym. Just trust me and follow my lead. Kim Yura shouted loudly, get lost you horse-faced guy. Horse King was puzzled. Why was he suddenly being called a horse? She vented all her frustration. So what if I'm fat? Do you think it's funny to see a fat person walking by? You like to laugh behind my back, don't you? I don't want anyone looking at me. Horse King turned around, confused. Laugh. Who's laughing? In truth, everyone around was just chatting normally. But in Kimura's eyes, they were all mocking her. Look at that girl, she walks so clumsily. Hey, does anyone hear the sound of a pig running? However, that was just her imagination. Horse King noticed something was wrong. I think there's a misunderstanding here. Before he could finish, Kim Yura ran away as fast as she could. He silently watched her retreating back. The next day at Easy Fun Gym, Kim Yura still quietly went to run alone again. She wasn't careful and fell. But this time, instead of hitting the ground, she fell onto a soft, meaty cushion. Horse King praised her. You're still as fiery as ever. That meaty cushion was actually him. He had gained weight and become a chubby guy. Kim Yura stepped back in surprise. What's going on? Horse King remained calm and cheerful. What else? Just came back from a food tour. It's been a long time since I felt this full. She clenched her fists tightly, her body trembling. What are you trying to do? Everyone will see you, they'll judge you, laugh at you, point fingers. Say mean things about that body. She started crying. You won't be loved. Just then Dave arrived, dropping his backpack on the floor. His face was all twisted. Horse King, what happened to you? Kim Yura, expecting this, shot back. See, now you're like this too. But what she didn't expect was that Dave actually loved this new body. What's this? Can I try punching you? Horse King smirked. Not so easy, I'm already full inside. Kim Yura couldn't believe her eyes. What? Dave shouted loudly. Hey, everyone look at Horse King. All his friends praised him. Whoa, perfect curves. What's going on? Horse King got even more vain. So how do you like my muscular body? Totally rock and roll. She stood there stunned for a few seconds. Only then did Horse King explain to her. See, you understand now, right? Other people's opinions don't change that easily. If you really knew me, why would you suddenly hate me just because I gained weight? I'm still me. I don't know why you keep punishing yourself so much. But do everything happily, whether it's training or anything else. This time Kim Yura didn't overreact. She silently agreed. With Horse King's encouragement and support, Kim Yura changed her training routine. Sometimes they argued because of differences in opinion. Other times they sat together happily eating chicken drumsticks. Horse King crossed his arms, watching the student he had been training all this time. Kim Yura widened her eyes, focusing all her strength into her arms. She easily lifted the weights high, her tense body finally relaxed. That creepy group that always tempted her. Awesome. Go to the hell gym will drag her down there. Kimura breathed steadily. She lowered the weights to the ground, her thin lips curling up. A bright smile like the sunrise appeared back to reality. Now Kim Yura could confidently face everyone. It wasn't a big deal anymore. Feeling a bit awkward, she cleared her throat to steady herself. They said just to go to the restroom. Why is it taking so long? Suddenly the entire building shook violently. Everyone lost balance, swaying in all directions. An earthquake or a monster attack? Outside the city, dark clouds blanketed the sky. Heavy rain poured down. Everyone silently stared at the gigantic object before them. The group members ran outside to Horse King's side. Li Jihan hurried over, asking Horse King Q Wang, "What's going on?" We heard a terrible explosion. When they arrived, she was shocked. A spaceship shaped like a crystal letter was landing. Covered with circuit-like lines wrapping around it, descending to Earth at its peak. A black section caught her eye. "What's that?" Li Jihyun asked. Confused, Kai Wang checked his phone. "It's a notification from the association. We have to evacuate immediately."
Li Yihyun hesitated.
"Are we just supposed to leave that thing here and go?" Kim Yura frowned. "What are you saying? Are you a hero or not?" Unsure what to do, she turned to the leader, Horse King. "What do we do now? Say something." Horse King burst out with a bizarre laugh. "No way," Li Jihan nervously asked again. What? He remained calm. "It's so big, what can it do? We just follow orders." Suddenly all eyes turned toward the sky. A pillar of light pierced down from above. A red signal light flashed. The ship landed safely and spoke a greeting. What a fascinating sight of form. I have never seen before. The ultimate evolution to survive in a foreign environment, perhaps. I am eager to see the powerful warriors you have become. Should I harvest immediately? Its foot touched the ground and it stepped out, revealing itself to everyone, the fifth commander monster. After seeing its appearance, everyone was utterly shocked. Horse King laughed, twitching his face in disbelief. "What the hell is that?" A voice corrected it. "Wrong, fifth commander." The monster showed clear annoyance. What? It was a woman's voice. "They are beings called humans. A completely different species. They are not the seeds we planted." Fifth commander froze. "What do you mean?" The woman continued. "According to analysis, only about 10% of warriors actually formed, and some are even being exterminated by humans. It realized that means this farming plan has failed." Fifth commander raged. "Failed? Do you know how long it took to get here? You damn parasites, I will wipe you out." It spoke nonsense in a language no one understood. Parasites wipe out? What the hell is it talking about? "Hey, I won't let you talk nonsense anymore." Horse King stepped forward first. Li Jian stopped him. "Horse King, where are you going? You told me to stay put." "Johan, that clown dressed like a circus performer is treating us like insects," he said. Dave looked worried for him. "Hey, Horse King, stop. That guy came in on that weird spaceship. He looks really dangerous. Stop and come back here." Horse King was surprised. "How you guys scared?" His face twisted into a sneer, clearly showing contempt for the monster before him. The others bit their lips to hold back their anger. Horse King rubbed his hands, ready to fight whatever. "Teaching kids like these is my specialty. You weaklings just stand there and watch." Fifth commander sneered. "I'm done with this. Some ignorant punk dares to being insulted as uncultured." Horse King pointed out its mistake. "Now who's the uncultured one?" "Hey, you're fine for parking your spaceship in the wrong place." Fifth commander argued. "What? No way, I'm usually fine 10 times over." It looked around and realized it really had parked illegally. Seizing the moment, Horse King lunged forward and kicked it away. It flew off far into the distance. Horse King smirked. "Now who's wiping out who?" Fifth commander fainted temporarily. Then it got up, vowing revenge. "You filthy insect, I will crush you." Horse King tricked it into a trap. "Wait, over there." Fifth commander didn't believe it. "Don't mess with me, I'm not so easy to fool." In the end it really was tricked, because the rest of the group beat it up. Horse King gave a thumbs up. "See, I told you Megadead isn't some weaklings," he added. "The monsters get battered again and again by this crew." "Dave was last, guys, let me finish this." Horse King protested. "He's mine." Dave was surprised to have his victory stolen. Horse King used his secret technique, the Demon King Fist. The monster's eyes widened as it took the bizarre attack. Dave wanted to stop this reckless human, but couldn't. Horse King pushed the monster back across a long stretch. Li Jihan screamed in fear. "No." After a moment, only dust remained on the ground. A deep trench was carved out by the battle. What just happened impossible, he wondered. Everyone in the city turned to stone. Even one of his cows was petrified. Damn it, what the hell is this? You're kidding me, my $1,000,000 calf is turned to stone. He turned back. Hey Dave, let me think for a moment. He was also completely turned to stone. The image was etched deeply in Horse King's eyes. The bass guitar fell to the ground. Dave's statue began to crack, trembling from the earthquake, then shattered into pieces. Dave's little sister screamed in anguish. Everyone was shocked into silence. Fifth Commander opened its mouth wide, preparing to attack again. Dave's sister cradled her brother's head in her arms. The whole world seemed to collapse. Horse King stood frozen, feeling that nothing could be worse than this moment. Dave's little sister desperately caught his petrified head, crying out, "Brother!" The drummer and the electric guitarist couldn't believe what they were seeing. The guitarist stammered, "Captain, this can't be real." Horse King heard their voices and turned around. He froze in place, his mood sinking along with the shock. In Horse King's mind flashed memories of Dave helping him in his darkest moments. The times they shared delicious meals together. The moments when he happily waved from afar and Dave returned the gesture with a pure, beautiful smile, a smile that truly reflected who he was. Dave's face was frozen in horror. No longer beautiful. Dave's sister clutched his detached head, crying in disbelief and despair. No brother, the electric guitarist, was equally stunned. Speechless except to call out, "Captain." The drummer, though a bit steadier, cursed under his breath, "Damn it, what the hell is happening?" Fifth Commander, hearing their cries and curses, rubbed his head in frustration. Gathering power in his throat, it prepared to strike again. "Your noisy screams hurt my ears, you pests." Suddenly a scene forced it to pause. Horse King erupted with overwhelming power, forcing everyone to keep their distance. Li Jihan, watching from afar, confused, called out, "Horse King." The power surged uncontrollably inside him, making him groan in pain elsewhere. A mysterious figure watched the scene live, chuckling with delight. Oh, the massive power kept flooding into Horse King, slowly making him lose consciousness. He transformed into a demon upgraded by this energy. His feet pounded swiftly against the ground as he charged at Fifth Commander with a clenched fist. But ironically, the creature easily dodged his furious punch. The ground behind it, however, shattered violently under Horse King's strike, dust billowing everywhere. Li Jihan, seeing that familiar light, was reminded of a scene she had witnessed before. That exact same light, meanwhile, by some miraculous force, Fifth Commander continuously dodged Horse King's relentless punches. Dust swirling in the air. With one more punch into the ground near the guitarist's position. He was forced to close his eyes and raise his hand to block the dust. Horse King kept screaming, madly pounding Fifth Commander. The creature dodged and mockingly praised him, clenching its fist. "For a worm, you're not bad to raise." Then, slipping through the gaps in Horse King's punches, it landed a direct blow to his face. "But now it's time for you to sleep." Horse King was struck hard, the impact shaking the space behind him. Not surprisingly, blood spilled from his mouth. Li Jihan gasped, horrified, and screamed out, "Horse King!" In front of her, Horse King was taking blow after blow from the Fifth Commander. Every time its fist left his body, it left a heavy bruise and injury behind. He kept coughing up blood without stopping. After a while, the creature seemed tired or bored and finished with a powerful strike that sent Horse King flying backward. He crashed into the wall of a house already in ruins, making it even more shattered. The electric guitarist looked on, worried. Horse King, but what happened next caught the Fifth Commander off guard, making it utter an intrigued grunt. Horse King, bloody but still standing, took step after step out of the rubble he just caused. He furiously raised his fist again and charged at the creature. Fifth Commander laughed excitedly. "Interesting, that's more like it." Li Jihan rushed over in a panic, fearing she might not make it in time, shouting "No!" Horse King in her heart was a desperate plea, silently begging him to stop. Suddenly a red beam of energy struck Horse King, halting him in his tracks. The Fifth Commander furrowed its brow in surprise and confusion. It watched the red light shoot Horse King up into the sky, removing him from the brutal fight. Li Jihan recognized the energy and turned uncertainly, calling out, "Yura!" Kim Yura, who had just gathered strength to fire that beam, was trembling, hand shaking. Still, she forced calm and reminded Lee Jihan. He's not fully conscious anymore. I'll do my best, so you all need to run now. She reassured her. There's only one opponent left and I'm still S rank. He won't die easily. Suddenly the massive diamond-shaped structure in the sky emitted a loud sound that echoed all around. Even the fifth commander was puzzled by the noise. Rows of data started falling from the diamond, slowly converging into thousands of terrifying monsters. The band members broke out in cold sweat, terrified. The fifth commander lost its amusement and faded away in disappointment. Before disappearing, it sneered, "Touch lucky for you all, but I'm done here. I have many places to visit." It ordered the newly appeared monsters destroy them all. The diamond shape began to fade away with its sound. Then it vanished completely as if it had never appeared. Li Jian was truly scared, almost frozen in place from fear. She shuddered as she looked at the thousands of monsters suddenly rising like mushrooms, roaring and charging at them without hesitation. Kimura used her power to form a shield, blocking the monsters' advance. Frustrated, she scolded the stun group, "Damn it, don't just stand there, you're blocking the way. Run!" No sooner had she finished than the shield, which seemed to hold for a moment, began to crack. Lee Ji-hun panicked immediately. She shouted toward Kim Yura, "Dodge." Before she finished, the monsters broke through the shield. Kim Yura was caught off guard, unable to react in time to the monster lunging at her with its jaws wide open. Suddenly, a golden beam of light cut through the swarm of monsters, annihilating the one attacking her. The light obliterated everything in its path. None of the monsters stood a chance to react. Kimura turned toward the direction of the blast. A figure slowly approached where she stood. He pulled the lollipop from his mouth, smiling like a gallant knight. "Looks like I arrived just in time. Everyone's okay, right?" He patted his chest with a helpless grin. "Well, no matter what, the knight in shining armor is here now." Next to him was a robot, repeatedly announcing in a mechanical voice, "He's here, the knight's here, he's here, the knight's here." This was Johan, an S-rank hero known as a mechanical genius and expert engineer. He could build anything when it came to machines. Kimura pointed at him, clearly annoyed. "Hey, can you hurry up? Why are you so late?" Johan glanced at her, but then noticed the deep wound on Kimura's side. His focus snapped to the bleeding injury. Blood rushed to his head. Furious, he bit his lollipop in half. "Those bastards, they dared to hurt my precious fiancé." Lee Jihan, making a heart shape with her hands, suddenly blurted out, "Fiancé," without noticing Kim Yura's irritated glare. Johan was consumed by his anger, utterly unforgiving. The robot kept repeating, "Impossible, impossible." With a roar of rage, Johan unleashed dozens of explosive rounds toward the monsters. "Come down here, you cowards. Come get some," he shouted. The monsters were riddled with holes and bleeding from his assault. Johan's fury only intensified. Some stray shots veered behind, heading toward Dave's side. Dave's sister was still sobbing, clutching her stone-turned brother, whose petrified body was cracking into fragments. "No, brother!" Suddenly a monster burst through the dust and lunged at her. Thud, the dust settled, revealing a man blocking the monster's attack with one hand just in time. A handsome man with glasses. He crushed the monster's head with a single squeeze, blood splattering everywhere. Then he turned and continued attacking the nearby monsters. Limbs and bodies flew through the air amid their agonized screams. In the end, he left behind a patch of empty ground free of monsters. Lee Jihan stared in disbelief and whispered, "That's him." This man had silently been by Horse King's side during his training, always present whenever they trained their powers, always sitting quietly in a corner watching them, always silently observing and evaluating. Even when they worked together or had fun singing, even when they joked and chased each other around, he was always there. She couldn't believe it and called out, "Manager." At that moment, the man was carrying Dave's petrified body over one shoulder while using his other arm to support Dave's sister, who was crying desperately. IDX civilian manager Lee, the gym head, just like in Funimation. An ordinary guy without any special abilities. He brought Dave's sister in the stone body over to Kim Yura and said, "I'm entrusting these two to you. Kim Yura frowned when she saw him. What are you doing here? It's too dangerous. Go back. Manager Lee ignored her warning and looked at her steadily. You don't need to worry about me. Focus on handling those monsters first. Seeing Manager Lee's determined eyes, Kim Yura was left speechless. Without hesitation, Manager Lee charged into the monster horde. To protect Kwang, a loud roar echoed through the air pass on the drummer. Tears streaming down his face, shouted angrily to his bandmates, Megadead, let's go to hell. We have to avenge our captain. The group frenziedly rushed forward to attack the monsters.
Kim Yura helplessly yelled.
I'm not responsible for you guys. Lee Jahyun explained softly, I can't hold back anymore. She turned to Kim Yura. Yura, I want to help too. We have to save Horse King quickly. Kim Yura couldn't help but laugh. The band members, despite their love, were throwing themselves recklessly into battle, one against three, fighting to avenge their captain. Manager Lee calmly smashed two monsters' heads together with his bare hands to finish them off quickly. Kimura focused on using her power to eliminate any monsters that got close. Johan was going berserk, firing explosive rounds from his inventions. The battle grew more intense. After a while, the ground was littered with the bodies of defeated monsters. Johan finished clearing the area and ran up to Kim Yura. Hey babe. He reached out as if to kiss her, but she blocked him with her hand. You're hurt, right? Let me kiss it and make it better. Lee Jihan looked on, genuinely curious about their interaction. Babe, is he your boyfriend? She asked. Kim Yura stopped Johan and explained, shut up, no he's not, I swear. Suddenly realizing something was missing, Johan asked, by the way, where's that guy, the one with the horse face? He pointed toward the group, but it wasn't enough. Meanwhile, somewhere else deep in a dark forest, a clear shimmering lake lay peaceful amid the trees. Suddenly a bloodied face shattered the serene scene. It was Horse King, his body covered in blood, floating on the surface of the lake. Somewhere else the diamond-shaped structures appeared, instantly destroying a fortress until it lay in ruins. Not just one but hundreds. Even thousands of these diamond-shaped structures emerged at that place. Monsters ran rampant, freely roaming everywhere, searching for any survivors. The student curled up and tried to hide, but unfortunately was discovered. The inevitable outcome was clear blood splattered all over the ground. Amid the scenes of devastation and the thousands of diamond-shaped structures, a mechanical voice echoed. The situation is very bad. At the Hero Association's high-level meeting room, everyone was talking anxiously. Monsters are invading worldwide simultaneously. At this rate, in 1 month humanity will. An opposing voice interrupted. Invasion at this point, it's more like extermination. Another voice questioned the crowd, so the harvest has been moved up. The voice hesitated, suspicious, could there have been a leak? Immediately another voice reassured, no, the harvest is still proceeding smoothly. They're just destroying everything in front of them. It seems they haven't realized yet. But there is something troubling me. This time they're commanded by a general. If this continues, Earth will be destroyed. It will slowly break down into fragments. This was the concern shared by the group. They had to make a decision. We can't delay any longer. How are the current test subjects? A series of data about the test subjects appeared for inspection. Someone asked, U-168 is still incubating. The supervisor reported Black is monitoring U-168, but there's an issue. This was a cause for worry. If the League finds out about this, we might have to consider ending the alliance altogether, so they dared not act rashly. Suddenly one person changed the subject. Hey, it's Sunday today. Shall we order food first? The conversation abruptly shifted. Meme, all restaurants are closed today anyway. Elsewhere, a white dove flew swiftly behind the monsters. Suddenly it slammed into an invisible shield in the sky. It crashed hard and died instantly, catching the attention of a monster. Two monsters conversed in their language. Did you find anything? No, so they decided to move on. Let's go to another area, okay? The two monsters vanished suddenly. A building was suddenly transported and appeared, brought by some kind of high-tech robot. Inside, Kimura's group was gathered. She clenched her teeth in frustration. Are you kidding me? She crushed her communication device. The city's in chaos, and the association can't even answer their phones. No wonder I want to quit. Lee Johan was treating Kyung and looked puzzled. There's no warning at all. I don't know what's going on with the association. Then she shyly apologized to Kyung. Sorry, this is all I can do for now. He smiled hearing her words. What are you talking about? Thanks to you we all got treatment. Jihan Kaiwang gently stroked the cat in his arms and asked her, besides that little guy there's nothing you can do. Even though I tried my best to treat him, he still isn't recovering. Johan opened the door and stormed in complaining. It's all because of that damn horse-face guy. The robot following him echoed, horse-face, horse-face. Lee Jihan turned around and greeted him. Johan. She asked Johan in surprise that fast. How are the others from Megadead doing? He irritably scratched his ear. Don't worry, I hid them well. The robot chimed in. Yeah, Johan complained. But those grown men were crying so pitifully my ears are still ringing. Kim Yura cut him off. Wait, what's going on? Why is it all because of him? Johan immediately wiped away his calm expression and, like a fanatic desperate to kiss, answered her. Oh, the story is looking at the little cat on Kwang's lap. He explained that cat is called a heteromorphic. Lee Jihan looked puzzled. Heteromorphic. Johan did know much more than she did. Yeah, I don't really understand either how that guy got one when they're so rare. But heteromorphs aren't just ordinary pets. They're creatures that share everything with their owner's feelings, even pain. More precisely, they're inseparable. Like at this point, he playfully teased Kimurami and the kitty. The robot echoed, with the kitty. With the kitty from that Lee Jihan guessed. So Horse King, she recalled the earlier scene. Right. He did seem a little strange back then. Kaiwang explained it's because of Dave's situation. Hearing the unfamiliar name made her even more curious. Dave, the older brother of that girl. His face grew sorrowful. Yeah, after all, Ted was Horse King's mentor of sorts. Then the story flashed back to Horse King's past in a scene filled with flying rose petals. Horse King stood before a girl holding out a bouquet like a lovesick guy confessing. The girl reached for the flowers. But instead of love, she slapped the bouquet hard across his face. She looked at Horse King crying on the ground. Scolding, you disgusting creep, don't ever show up in front of me again. He wept bitterly. It's always like this. No one ever understands my true feelings. Fine then, I won't love anymore. Never again. Before a second passed, a cute girl appeared and lifted his spirits. Love, she will love me, he. But the next scene shocked Horse King. A man with a terrifying face but two lovely girls by his side spoke harshly. Go to hell. Yet the girls blushed shyly. Don't be like that. Haha, you're so funny. Horse King couldn't understand it. What girls like him, even though he looks like that? That's impossible. No way. That guy is a master flirt. Immediately Horse King knelt before that man, making him jump and say huh. He bowed his head and loudly declared his wish. I want to be loved too. Please teach me. The two girls looked at him with disgust. What's wrong with him? Gross. Let's just ignore him. Horse King patiently endured their words, hoping that man would help him fulfill his wish. Unlike his own terrifying face, that man apologized to the girls. Sorry, my little adorable tunes. This date is over for today. Then he knelt on one knee before Horse King's tear-streaked miserable face. He reached out his hand to Horse King and said, Come with me, my little lamb. I'll forge you into a real man. He led him to a special place, the easiest way to attract the opposite sex. That place was none other than a gym. He smiled reassuringly. Here you will be reborn. Horse King nodded in agreement. Training diligently starting from February 14th, day after day without rest, some days bending and stretching, other days doing push-ups. Even when tired, he never stopped until July 14th he became a training maniac. Like a tireless demon, finally Horse King transformed his current self, earned an approving round of applause from the mentor. He praised, now you finally look the part. Horse King stared at himself in the mirror, stunned. At last the basic preparation phase is over. Then the man handed him a set of clothes. Take this, he said. This is the final piece to make you a real man. He smiled and slipped him a spirit candy. Now go, you will be a master of love. Welcome to your day of love. Horse King obeyed, stepping out to approach a girl standing alone. He called out to attract her attention. Oh, what a coincidence. I was just passing by. The girl looked at him, eyes wide. She wore a colorful, fluffy feather jacket. Her face was painted ghostly white, lips black as night. Horse King, like a pervert, laughed loudly and said, surprised, huh? This is the scent of a real man. Only one woman has the privilege to enjoy it, and that's you. The girl was left speechless, confused, staring at him like he was crazy. That was the horrifying scene Horse King couldn't stand even while unconscious. Stop it. Damn it, please, you idiot. Horse King slowly sank into the lake, drowning in his own memories. The man he had revered as a master of seduction was shocked to hear of his failure. What, you failed? He couldn't believe it. You failed my plan. The one with a 100% success rate. What the hell is wrong with her? I don't believe she wasn't affected by you. Horse King hung his head in despair. What am I supposed to do now? It can't go on. The man wiped away the bizarre makeup from his face. No, something's wrong here. This is the ultimate technique. Tested by over 30 women with a perfect score of 200 out of 100 over the last 10 years. Impossible. So where's the mistake? Beneath the ugly makeup was a stunningly handsome face, radiant and brilliant enough to make many men jealous. That face belonged to Dave. Horse King stared blankly at his true reflection. He laughed mockingly as if drugged. Dave looked confused. Why are you laughing? That question made him laugh even harder. Ha ha ha. Horse King lunged forward, grabbing Dave's shirt. You bastard. Dave looked innocent, confused. Huh, what's wrong? Horse King, furious to the point of tears, shouted curses. You damn fraud, I'm going to kill you. Dave tried to calm him down. Calm down, please. Horse King snapped back immediately. Calm down my ass, you're a fraud. How do you know everything, huh? Dave grew more and more puzzled. Horse King was beyond angry, yelling right in his face. Shut the hell up, you son of a. Horse King was tormented by a nightmare thrashing beneath the water. Stop, please stop. His voice echoed through the forest. Run. Kaiwan wiped away tears, mourning and thinking about Horse King. He wondered how Horse King must have felt losing Dave. Lee Jihan, hearing the story, muttered angrily. Was there even a moment in that whole story where Horse King really cared about Dave? Kim Yura was busy stopping Jihan's passionate love, but still reminded everyone anyway, Horse King is seriously not okay. We have to find him. Johan calmly crushed her hopeful thoughts. How can we find him? We don't even know where that horse-faced guy is. I tried using drones to search, but he's not around here. You've all seen what's going on outside. He probably. Kim Yura interrupted. Then we stay here. I'll go find him myself. She cried as she spoke. If something happens to him, then lead Jihan, and turned to Johan. Is there no other way? Johan rubbed his forehead in frustration. I'm a genius, not a god. Suddenly a door slammed open. Kyung's face twisted into a grimace at the sight of who entered. A seductive voice interrupted their conversation. Hey, anyone here ordering some love? Heart King appeared, surrounded by fluttering pink petals. I'll gently soothe you all your wounds, he said to them. Lee Jaeyoon looked confused as she stared at him. Heart King noticed the group and wondered aloud. Why is everyone just hanging out here? 2 girls and a kid. Heart King raised an eyebrow, clearly annoyed. How strange. I was just following the scent of a man desperate for love. Can't be that my senses are broken. Johan was surprised by Heart King's sudden appearance. How did you get in here? I covered the whole building with 3D images. Heart King smiled proudly. He's surprised. No one and nothing can hide from the power of love. Suddenly his heart-shaped hair like a radar started vibrating. He wondered, oh, what's going on with the radar? A locker in the corner of the room was shaking violently, as if someone was hiding inside in terror. Cho Wang panicked, peeking through the locker door crack. No one appeared outside the door. Suddenly Heart King's face appeared right in front of the crack, staring at Kai Wang. Inside, so you were hiding here too. He happily opened the locker door and lunged at Cho Wang. My tough-hearted man, he said, causing Cho Wang to scream out in despair. In the eyes of the other 3, Cho Wang was mercilessly drained both physically and mentally by Heart King. Suddenly, as if remembering something, Lee Dajahian's eyes flashed with a spark of insight. She immediately called out Heart King. Hearing his name, he turned back, holding whatever he had in his hands. What is it, darling? I'm eating right now, can it wait? She and Kim Yura exchanged pleading looks, silently begging him. Slowly Lee Jihan spoke. That thing. Heart King carried Lee Jihan on his back, sprinting into the forest, reminding her as he ran, you're touching me there, could you move a bit? She gently pleaded, just bear with it a little longer. But he disliked it. That's kind of annoying. I hate the soft skin of girls. Annoyed Heart King warned her, I'm just saying this to be cautious. But if you don't have other plans with me, suddenly something charged at them, making Lee Jihan scream, a Heart King in front. Watch out, two monsters furiously lunged toward them. Lee Ji-hyun, terrified, closed her eyes, bracing for injury. But contrary to her fear, Heart Queen swiftly passed through them. Safe for the moment, she asked him, is Horse King's signal still far away? Resting on Heart King's shoulder. She clutched him tightly. Horse King, he's hurt, she cried out. Darling, seriously, I told you not to grab on like that, Heart King scolded. She silently pleaded with him to wait just a bit longer. Her thoughts drowned out Heart King's resentful voice. Jihan, are you ignoring that? I can't believe you, you little brat. A voice echoed through the space. Enjoying yourself, are you? Horse King was forced to open his eyes, confused. His legs were sinking into a slimy pool of water. The voice continued, I asked, are you really enjoying this? Then it shifted into a mocking tone, haha, what's this now, you're some kind of superhero, Feeling the water beneath his feet, Horse King shuddered, trembling as he covered his face. Oh my God, is this blood? The voice rang out again, full of arrogance, already getting cocky. Aren't you? He looked around in panic, searching for the source of the voice. What the hell is this thing spreading terror and making such a disgusting show? The mocking voice answered once more, alpha male, Yeah right, what a joke. Suddenly a person emerged from the blood-red pool beneath his feet. The pale, ghostly skin of this figure, combined with their sudden appearance right in front of him, made Horse King jump in fright, his face paling. The voice came from that ghastly figure. I can't even bear to watch this, you arrogant lying bastard. Before the figure could finish, Horse King yelled and lunged forward, punching the person hard in the face. While punching, he cursed, damn it, you freak. Realizing he hit someone without reason, he immediately felt guilty and apologized, oh my bad. You really shouldn't have surprised me like that. The figure coughed up a mouthful of blood. Oh damn it, that hurts like hell. The scene before Horse King shifted, suddenly leaving him stunned. A schoolboy in uniform was being bullied by a group. Hey punk. Straighten up, you think we're easy targets. The boy, clutching his bruised cheek and trembling, appeared clearly before him. Horse King was confused. What is this? On the other side, the violence continued. One bully threw a banana peel he had just eaten onto the other boy. Hey, lunch break started ages ago. Where's our bread? The victim could only tremble in helpless fear. I am sorry. The bully snapped viciously, you useless idiot. You expect me to starve because you can't fight back. His tone grew more aggressive. Damn, you're messed up. The boy stammered in defense, and no, that's not true. The teacher called me to the office. This scene matched almost perfectly the past memories of Horse King. He looked at the boy and doubted himself, unable to believe it. Could this really be him from his school days? The voice echoed again, responding to his thoughts with sharp clicks. Ping ping. Ping, confirming everything. Bullseye, absolutely right. You're a failure, aren't you? Horse King refused to accept it. Angrily, he looked around, shouting, shut up, you've been noisy this whole time. Who the hell are you? What the hell are you trying to pull? Suddenly an idea flashed in his mind. All right, this must be a dream without mercy. He punched his own face hard, testing it out. The pain made him fall silent. The voice rang out again, filled with ridicule, but this time it came from the very boy being bullied. Dream? What nonsense. Look me in the eye. The boy's face was pitiful, a skinny, sickly slave. My punching bag. What right do you have to play the hero like a fool, you arrogant lying bastard? Horse King frowned, annoyed. Shut up, slave, seriously, that makes no sense. Before he could finish, something touched his shoulder from behind. Dave suddenly appeared, frozen in place behind him. Damn it. I can't believe some errand boy is causing me trouble, Dave said, making Horse King startle. Dave continued, mocking, his body growing taller and more imposing. A little lamb thinking it's a hero just because of some impulsive action. You're nothing but a total wrecking ball. Each word made Horse King frown deeper. Alpha male macho man, haha, how ridiculous. Damn it, main character, my ass, this is all your fault. Why should I die because of someone like you, you damn villain? Dave was nearly furious to the point of madness. He raised his hand, intending to grab Horse King. Horse King closed his eyes tightly, bracing himself to endure the blow. A sudden thud sounded instead. Contrary to what he expected. Nothing hit him. He opened his eyes at the strange noise. Horse King was stunned by the bright scene before him. A ship was rushing through a vibrant sunset full of life, leaving him even more confused. Where am I? He was on a speeding vessel piercing through the blazing dusk. In front of him appeared the image of someone tied to a cross as punishment. O Lord, above it hurts so much, the heretic shall descend into hell. It hurts, he gasped in shock at the sight. It was Jesus Christ. A vendor cart filled with goods appeared on the ship's deck. Even Akira from Line 1 was here. What was this subway villain gang doing here? A familiar voice called out his name. Horse King Kimura, hanging upside down from the ship's railing, suddenly appeared before him, startling him enough to shout. A falling star. Wait, Yura, hey, you're causing a public disturbance. Get down here right now. Yura snapped at him immediately. Shut up, don't boss me around. Who do you think you are? You're just a violent villain. Horse King frowned, displeased. Yura, since when did you start ordering me around? She glared at him with hatred. Now you even dare to argue with zero skills to back it up. A loud shout pierced Horse King's ears, almost rupturing his eardrums. I've been fooled. The voice came from a person in red holding a book. Damn it, I was completely deceived. Damn it, damn it. Now he's not only a failure but a pariah too. Main character, that monkey. He's more of a villain. The book said so when Dave lunged at Horse King. His body turned to stone and shattered, a truly meaningless sacrifice, a waste. The person in red muttered again. No, even villains have their own code. Like he's a villain but not exactly a villain. Slowly the person lifted his hat, revealing his face exactly. He's just a piece of trash. Horse King stared in shock at the person who just lifted his hat. Kaiwang, what's going on? You keep going on about villains and all that. What exactly are you talking about? The partition near him suddenly shattered, followed by a commanding voice. Sit down. A man holding a baton stepped forward. The man wearing glasses walked closer as he spoke. Found a villain, huh? This one's from Line 1, a professional troublemaker. He glared threateningly at the scene before him. Hemp, you wanna die, don't you? Voices of blame and resentment surrounded Horse King. The electric guitar cursed him. You arrogant fraud, it's all your fault. You weirdo who craves attention and chaos. Despite the man with glasses raising his voice, I said sit down. The accusations continued relentlessly. This time it was Dave's sister blaming, because of you, my brother. Then Manager Lee called out, disgusting pervert. The man with the baton swung it toward the manager, snarling, damn it, sit down. Dave's sister accused again. He's dead, my brother is dead. The man glared at her, raising his hand. You trying to act tough? Sit down. Horse King grew more and more confused. No, I am not a failure, a weirdo, a perverted troublemaker, or an arrogant fraud. The voices kept coming. Just an arrogant, deceitful troublemaker. He looked around in panic as the crowd grew larger and more intimidating, and shouted, who are you? Horse King was almost mentally terrorized. No, it's a misunderstanding. I tried to protect everyone. This time the blaming voice came from beneath his feet. Protect us, you protect us. You're just babbling nonsense, damn it, don't pretend you don't know who killed Dave. Those words stabbed his heart, leaving him silent. It was you, Horse King. In the real world, Lee Jihan was shaking Horse King with all her strength. After pulling him from the water. Horse King, wake up. Judging by his current state, she guessed it's bad. He's completely unconscious. We need to get him to a hospital immediately. But Heart King stopped her at once. Wait, he pushed up his glasses and examined Horse King carefully. Calm down, Jihan. Horse King isn't simply unconscious. I don't think taking him to the hospital will solve this. Lee Jihan looked confused. Heart King hesitated, searching for the right explanation. It's like he's fallen into a very deep sleep. Looks unusual. Lee Johan still didn't understand. What do you mean? But he stopped explaining and just said, it's a woman's intuition. That phrase only made Lee Jihan more confused. What woman's intuition? Heart King growled in frustration. Focus, miss. He made a gesture describing, don't you see, look at those moist, glossy lips. He bent down. This is definitely one of those classic situations. Heart King wiped his mouth and explained. This is where the prince was cursed by an evil witch and fell into a cat's sleep, and the only way to wake him up he puckered his lips and moved closer to Horse King. Is with a princess's kiss. Li Jiahan couldn't take it anymore and shoved him away. Gross, he flew back and fell splash onto the surface of the lake. She looked apologetic. Oh God, I didn't mean to do that, sorry. Her face grew serious again as she refocused. Li Jiahan placed both hands on Horse King's chest and pleaded just she summoned her power. Wait a moment, Horse King the First will. I will definitely heal you. Suddenly an alarm blared. Run, emergency. An unidentified monster classified as Class A or above detected within 100 meters. Evacuate immediately to a safe zone. Johann gasped at the alert, startled. What the hell is this crazy? Suddenly Kimura heard a strange sound. She immediately warned them, everyone be careful. A huge force slammed down, destroying the building where they were gathered. A moment later Johann, severely injured, knelt beside Yura, calling out, Yura, stay conscious. The robot nearby echoed in a cracked voice. Yura Kyung stood up, staring in disbelief at the two monsters that had appeared. What's happening? He watched in shock as the two huge creatures, one green, one pink, rushed toward him, throwing punches. They didn't hesitate to smash their fists into the ground, shaking the earth and kicking up clouds of dust. But Kaiwang wasn't hurt. He felt no pain from the blows and opened his eyes. In front of him was Manager Li, gritting his teeth in pain. He was holding back the strength of the two giant green and pink monsters with his body. Kyung shouted in relief as if grabbing a lifeline. Manager Kim clenched his teeth so hard they bled inside his mouth. The two monsters exchanged glances as if signaling some plan. Then the green monster grabbed Manager Kim and dragged him away, making Kwang panic. No, distracted by the green monster, Kwang didn't notice the pink one. When he turned back, the pink monster's shadow was already close to him, raising its hand to strike. The punch came down again, but luckily Johann used his machinery in time to pull Kwang and Kim Yura away to safety. Kwang looked gratefully at the person who saved him. Johann, at this moment, Johann couldn't focus on anything else. Gritting his teeth in fear, he thought, damn it, if we don't sit down we'll get discovered way too soon. These bastards aren't ordinary monsters. The pink monster suddenly appeared before the three of them, preparing to throw a punch. Johann didn't have time to react. What with a single strike? The pink monster smashed into them, scattering the three in different directions. Johann, who was the heaviest, was thrown far back and crashed onto the ground. He clenched his teeth and braced himself to get up, but no. Seeing Yura about to be stomped by the pink monster, he panicked and tried to call out to the unconscious person on the ground. Yura. Its foot slowly descended onto her beautiful body. Suddenly a beam of light appeared, blocking the monster's foot from landing. The monster looked down in confusion. What is this? A solid yet soft and trembling object. Kaiwan's body. He risked everything to block the monster from harming Kim Yura. Cheong smiled to himself, thinking, damn, is this how it ends for me? Recalling his fantasies of a glorious death, he couldn't help but chuckle. He had wanted a spectacular death, just like the models he admired, those who made their protagonists shine. The monster's foot gradually pressed down with increasing force, making it harder for Kyung to resist, forcing him to slowly lower himself. As he went down, he silently told himself, but still, it's been a life worth living. Farewell to my dreams. In the next life I will far above. A yellow scarf fluttered in the wind. Red Mark, wearing that yellow scarf, stood on high ground, taking in the entire scene below and assessing the situation. Hugh Wong was utterly shocked, his eyes wide open. Am I Red Mask? Red Mask. And a rank hero possessed the power of heroic strength, allowing him to mimic finishing moves from action hero genres. Hearing someone call Red Mask's name, the monster turned its head to look back, and when their eyes met, Kaiwang flinched. Quickly stomped hard down where Kaiwang was, but luckily he managed to grab Kimura and escape. There's a gap here. After successfully fleeing, he immediately turned and shouted loudly, now's your chance, Red Mask. But in response, Cho Wang was met with cold indifference. At that moment, Red Mask spoke slowly. Not yet. Cho Wang couldn't understand this. He had to fight off the monster while trying to make sense of Red Mask's words. Due to his distraction for just a few seconds, Cho Wang took a powerful punch from the monster. He was hit so hard his face twisted and was thrown far away. Then Red Mask suddenly spoke again. Camera 1. A young man holding a camera replied from somewhere. Camera 1 got a great shot. Then another voice chimed in. Camera 2 is also ready and excellent. And the footage from camera 2 is focused right on Kimura looking her worst. After receiving the updates from the camera crew, the director began speaking. Alright, the drone is ready. Starting the countdown, watch closely this weird behavior of his. Kaiwang was very curious, wondering what is he doing. The director's voice continued. Prepare to act in 10 seconds. Red. Get ready. The cameraman began counting down 10-9. Meanwhile, Red Mask, having just had his costume adjusted by the staff, was focused on the countdown. 8. Someone next to him suddenly said ready. But he objected, not yet. While Red Mask was still preparing, Kwang's group was being relentlessly beaten by the monsters. They punched and kicked, but Red Mask was still standing there striking a pose. The cameraman aimed the camera at Kwang and exclaimed, "Oh, great expression." On the camera screen, Kaiwang's miserable face was captured vividly. The cameraman then directed, "Now let's try to look a bit more desperate, shall we?" At that moment, Kaiwang suddenly recalled a painful memory. It was right after finishing filming cut. Good job. The director had praised Red Mask enthusiastically. Wow, Red Mask's acting skills are really improving. Red Mask, upon hearing the compliment, immediately became smug, of course. Suddenly Red Mask's gaze shifted downward. The corners of his lips slowly curved into a smile. You did well too." Looking at the person kneeling at his feet, bruised all over, made him feel even happier. "Your expression is fantastic. It's been a long time since I got goosebumps like this." Hearing Red Mask's words, Q1 wanted to say something like I but was cut off. "Thank you. No. It's precisely because of these trashy villains that heroes can shine brighter." This remark left Cheong dumbfounded. Seeing this expression on his face, Red Mask laughed heartily. Just kidding. A dramatic victory of justice over evil. Surely the audience will love it." Then Red Mask stood up and left, not forgetting to turn back and wave to Kaiwang. "Work with me again next time so I can shine even more." With that, he decisively walked away, leaving Kaiwang battered and bruised. Alright, show everyone that justice will prevail. But Kaiwang didn't care about any of that. He was filled only with admiration for Red Mask, the message of hope so cool. At that very moment, kids eagerly awaited a dream scene. 5 seconds left, hurry up. 3-2. As the last second hit 1, the cool image of Red Mask appeared. The kids excitedly cheered. "Here he comes." Confidently, he strode forward, reassuring the people, "Don't be afraid. Red Mask won't let anyone die." Meanwhile, the monster was closing in on him. But Red Mask easily recognized that whenever someone is in danger, no matter where, he would fly there. He quickly landed, confidently declaring, "To protect even one more person today, I will keep fighting." Suddenly, hot gusts of wind surged around Red Mask. He laughed loudly with excitement. Fast as lightning, the righteous hero Red Mask has arrived. Before Red Mask could finish introducing himself, an angry voice shouted, "You bastard." Cho Wang erupted in fury, his voice harsh as he cursed, "Damn it, you idiot. What the hell are you doing?" The cameraman noticed Cho Wang's expression and was startled. Is something wrong?" Cho Wang yelled, "You bastard, I'm gonna drown you in the sewage. When will you wake up? No, even sewage is too good for you, you fraud. Your arms are weaker than dried fish. You can't even lift medium weights. Then what's the point of eating so much chicken? Die, all of you, die. If you die, I'll die too. I'll kill you all," the cameraman reminded sharply. "Hey, this is a live broadcast. Why are you overlapping the sounds like that? Move aside quickly." Q Wang cut him off. "Your fly is down." Embarrassed, the cameraman bowed his head. "Sorry, that was an accident during the live stream." Taking advantage of the moment, Q Wang gave him a strike. The cameraman's head collided with Kaiwan's knee, and the camera flew out, crashing loudly. People around murmured in surprise. "Camera number 3, what happened to that guy? Isn't he supposed to be a good citizen?" Cheong now wore a sly smile. "Citizen, huh?" His face transformed into that of a demon. "Dream on, you fools, now all of you bow down. The real villain has arrived." Another cameraman backed away in fear. Red Mask, excited, said, "Wait a minute, isn't that face the one with the green mask?" Trembled. Is him the legend who never shed blood or tears? The man in the black cloak shouted. The universe's most worthless demon king. The disgrace of humanity. Red Mask's camera spoke up. Maybe we should pause the live stream for a bit. He tried to intervene. He's even more devious than the monsters. The camera seemed confused. Red Mask explained, a villain who dares to threaten the film crew. That's a good shot. I know him. He's the one who's only good at one thing, taking hits. This scene will look great on camera. With that, he returned to his hero duties. You can't stop, ha, you cowardly villain. Xiong stuck out his tongue. Of course I'm cowardly because I'm the villain. Johan lay sprawled on the ground, bewildered, thinking, what the hell is going on? What nonsense is he talking about? Red Mask applauded. Good, that's how a villain should be. Now get lost with that. He fired a laser beam. Kaiwang dashed out from behind Red Mask, planning to attack from there. But Red Mask saw through the plan, immediately told you caught. Xiao Wang grabbed the cameraman by the neck as a hostage. Didn't expect this move, huh? Red Mask's smile briefly faded. A hostage? That's really low. Xiao Wang laughed loudly. Low. Of course it is, because I'm the villain. He threw both of them far away at the same time. Take that. They crashed into something, causing a small explosion with white smoke billowing everywhere. The one wearing the red mask munched popcorn while watching the one in the green mask chimed in. Amazing, sir. He's even worse than us, the cameraman shouted. Camera number 2. Red Mask. Red Mask crawled out from the rubble, gritting his teeth. You damn villain, in the name of justice, I will not forgive you. Silently, he gave a thumbs up. The cameraman recognized the signal that means action. Red Mask dashed forward at the speed of light. He smiled with satisfaction. Villain, get ready. Hugh Wong isn't any less impressive either. Actually, I should be the one saying that. The first strike, he dodged it. They circled each other back and forth, Red Mask throwing hundreds of punches. The guy wearing glasses' head bowed to the ground, suddenly spoke up. The fight is pretty even. If he tries, he can win. Jihan snapped. Is now really the time for commentary? Red Mask confidently said. That guy is a rank B hero. He's acting to hide his true power. It's all just to create a dramatic climax, folks. He pummeled Xiao Wang mercilessly, blood flowing like rivers. Despite the battered face, Xiao Wang still smiled. So how about it? Had enough punches. Time to end this. Oh great nature, the cameraman exclaimed excitedly. Is that Red Mask's unity chant? It was indeed so. He prayed water, fire, wind, earth, grammar, strength. Then Red Mask combined them and shouted mighty. The cameraman finished fist. Red Mask unleashed his move. The 4 elements merged into a giant tornado. It slammed straight down on Kaiwan's body, lying badly injured on the ground. Kaiwan gritted his teeth and endured. Ji-hoon cursed silently. Damn it, it's over. But the one who got hit was actually Red Mask. He and the glasses-wearing guy were stunned. Even the cameraman was equally shocked. The kids holding their phones to record were clearly disappointed. Red Mask was severely injured, and even he didn't understand why. What attacked him were the hands of 2 people. They were the one wearing the green mask and the one wearing the red mask. Because of this strange appearance, the broadcast had to be paused. Those 2 knelt down in front of Q Wang. Then they opened their mouths to praise. O Demon King, please allow us to follow you. Ji-hoon and his group flew off, confused and annoyed, not understanding what the fuss was about. Those 2 just kept bowing their heads like that. Cheong was silent for a moment. He murmured, Demon King, huh? But it didn't take long for him to accept it. All right, let's see what happens. They all burst out laughing together happily. The 3 of them became the clowns of the world, just as they had accepted their disciples. A sledgehammer from Kim Yura crashed down. All 3 collapsed unconscious on the ground. She was very annoyed. Get rid of these idiots. Jiho nearby looked at his goddess and was utterly infatuated. Surrounded by tall shadowy figures with glowing red eyes, the arrogant fraud causing chaos and destruction. The twisted loser Horse King panicked and shouted, who are you people? But all he got in response were cold accusations. Fraud, arrogant, troublemaker, destroyer. Twisted loser, eccentric Horse King screamed in panic, no, you've got it all wrong. I just want to protect everyone. A pale face suddenly surfaced, eyes wide open. Protect who? Don't play dumb. Horse King roared and swung a fist at that face. He covered his face tightly. I've told you countless times. Don't do that to me anymore. On the ground, a swollen face groaned weakly. Q hook suddenly beams of light appeared. Horse King looked up. On the water surface there are pale figures floating. A bright cross-shaped glow shone in the sky. He wandered across. An old bald man appeared. Horse King's eyes gleamed as he looked up. Could that be Jesus? Finally, those 5 years of summer Bible classes paid off. But why is Jesus being questioned? Suddenly, the bald old man transformed into Li Yohan. Horse King looked up in surprise. Ji Jihan. Li Jihan, looking angry, said, Horse King, what are you doing? The angel Li Jihan is here. I was scared to death, Horse King cried, rushing toward her, tears streaming down. But Li Jihan rejected him, putting a hand up to block his face. Stop, that's enough. At that moment, the pale figures under the water suddenly lunged up, yelling, What, Horse King? That bastard even brought a friend. Li Jihyun glared angrily. Wanna die? Shut up and don't just stand there. Horse King trembled, feeling the atmosphere was somehow off. Cut to Li Jihyun carrying a little cat on her shoulder, treating Horse King. She pursed her lips, thinking, I can sense Horse King's aura. But what is this fear? Calm down, an unknown something. Suddenly Horse King appeared, pressing his face close to her. But Li Jihan's hand stopped him. Wait a little longer, I'll heal you. Horse King suddenly coughed up blood, causing Li Jihan and the little cat to panic. Horse King suddenly 2 streams of magic white and red appeared, swirling around Horse King. These 2 auras clashed fiercely, one cold and dark, hidden inside Horse King's aura. As if 2 forces were fighting and colliding continuously, Horse King gritted his teeth, enduring the pain. What the hell is happening to Horse King? Suddenly a sweaty face appeared. Do you know what's happening outside right now, Horse King? And the pale figure knelt and replied, Yeah, I know. Li Jihan scolded them sharply, You know, but you're just hiding here chatting instead of doing anything. Horse King whimpered. It's not like that. That bastard keeps digging into my past and causing trouble. The pale figure looked confused. Hey, watch your words. You're just a useless little shrimp who only talks big and causes problems. Li Jihan snapped angrily. Enough, Horse King, and the pale figure trembled on their knees as her voice echoed, All of you just talk. Why don't you handle this like real men? Suddenly a spark of electricity ran through the 2 of them. Handle it, Li Jihyun smiled. If this were a showdown between 2 gym kings, wouldn't it make sense? The pale figure shouted, No way. In a blink, Li Jihyun transformed the surroundings into a gym, holding a long bar in her hands. Of course, it was the legendary 3-lift weightlifting battle. Images of big and small weights appeared. Horse King shouted, What is this? A gym? Horse King and the pale figure listened seriously as Li Jihan explained the rules. First is deadlift. The rules are simple. Each person lifts once. Each lift must be at least 10 kilograms heavier than the previous one. Failed attempt and you lose. Any questions? Horse King hesitated. Aye. Before anyone could say more, Li Jiha continued, No questions. Good, now lift. Damn it, she smiled cheerfully. Starting at 450 kilograms, Horse King yelled as he lifted. The pale figure panicked. What? This crazy guy starts at 450 kilograms. Horse King grimaced and shouted, I'm ending this in one go. Right after shouting, he collapsed to the ground. Li Jihyun announced Horse King failed. Next, pale Horse King in. Horse King was still crawling on the ground, glaring up. Hemph. Even if I fail, don't let some fake like you win. As he spoke, pale Horse King lifted the weight, making Horse King stunned. Li Jihyun happily announced Pale Horse King wins 1 o'clock. Pale Horse King smiled proudly. That's because the machine lacks imagination. This is our inner world, didn't you forget? Horse King laughed. Don't act all high and mighty. I was just warming up. Next was bench press. Horse King and Pale Horse King lay down lifting weights. As Li Jihyun announced, they fiercely competed. Minus 200 kilograms, I'll double that. 400 kilograms. They took turns increasing weights. Minus 450k, 500k. 550k, 600k. At 700 kilograms, Horse King proudly raised his hand as Li Jihyun announced Horse King wins. White Horse King looked confused. This is a comic, but this is just too ridiculous. Horse King wiped the sweat off his brow, feeling proud. Better take this seriously. White Horse King replied nonchalantly. Oyeli Jahan thought to herself, these idiots, then she shouted enthusiastically. No more time to waste, people out there are dying slowly, stop hesitating and start squatting. All right, I'll show you. Horse King grimaced suddenly. What? The game ends here, White Horse King said as he strained to lift a huge barbell. How's this 1 ton? Try to keep up if you dare. Horse King was shocked. 1 ton. This is cheating with imagination. White Horse King yelled, shut up. 700 kilos from the machine is already absurd. The level of hypocrisy is over 9,000. The weight White Horse King dropped cracked the floor beneath them. Horse King pursed his lips while Li Jihan declared firmly. White Horse King lifted 1 ton. Next up, Horse King. Suddenly Horse King dropped to his knees. White Horse King smirked. What now? Don't tell me you're giving up. White Horse King laughed smugly. Fine, you admit defeat, not bad. Now do you understand how trash you really are? While White Horse King was gloating, Horse King slammed his fist into the ground, startling him. What the hell are you doing? You're messing with me. A steel rod suddenly grew longer, piercing through the walls. White Horse King panicked. What? Hey, this is getting ridiculous. For 1,000 tons, the rod smashed through 2 buildings. White Horse King screamed in horror. Enough already, you bastard. Ignoring him, Horse King gathered all his strength to lift. White Horse King kept yelling, no way, those buildings were solid. Meanwhile, Horse King's eyes bulged as he strained to lift, not paying attention to White Horse King's rambling. You still haven't woken up. You just love to show off, huh? No matter how cool you look, this is impossible. How many times do I have to tell you before you understand? Even now you haven't realized it. That bragging nonsense won't work. Horse King cut him off sharply. Shut the hell up. White Horse King refused to be quiet. You're a hopeless, shallow, stupid fool. Horse King laughed while straining under the weight. A real man with 2 golden balls has to be like this. Look closely. White Horse King trembled. Damn, it's always like this. Wouldn't it be easier to just give up? He clenched his fists. Even Dave is dead now. At this point, Horse King slowly lifted the weight higher and answered. Yeah, it hurts and it's hard. Everyone can see how foolish I look. But what can crying and curling up change? No matter the pain, if all you do is whine and retreat, nothing changes. Horse King smiled determinedly. Instead of being pathetic, don't we just have to close our eyes and move forward? We're still young and a bright future awaits. White Horse King suddenly snapped awake and tears fell. He cried out, you damn idiot, stop wasting time. Get up right now. White Horse King pointed at Horse King squatting and trembling, lifting the heavy barbell on his shoulders. Those cement blocks, you could lift them with ease. Horse King smiled while White Horse King kept crying and shouting, losing like this? Are you okay with it? Hurry up and lift. There's no time for pity, Li Jaehyun said as she grabbed Horse King's pants. Finish this already, she yelled while pulling at his pants. Amidst flying bricks and debris, Horse King grimaced in pain as he struggled to lift the weights while Li Jahai and tugged at his pants. Horse King's eyes rolled back almost white. Sparks of electricity crackled around his legs. He strained harder, the ground beneath his feet cracking and breaking. Walls and floor began to fracture and collapse as Horse King radiated powerful glowing energy. White Horse King screamed, covering his face. What kind of absurd power is this? The building can't hold anymore. White Horse King fell to the ground, and above him appeared a tiger holding a barbell in its jaws. Lifting it up, White Horse King chuckled. Now this is more like me. The building split in half, held up by Horse King. While a fierce tiger silhouette growled behind him, cut to Li Johan, her eyes shining as she looked upward. Horse King had awakened and stood tall. Layers of skin on his legs cracked and fell off. Did you make it? Horse King smiled. Thanks, Gion. I'm back now. I told you I'd keep my promise, didn't I? Li Jihyun blushed, lips trembling. Imagining Horse King's dazzling smile, she thought, haha. Don't worry, just trust me. Her face suddenly changed color, too cheesy. When did I ever promise? That Heart King blushed, thinking I can't resist the scent of this man anymore. I want him to be mine. Horse King suddenly turned serious, looking back with the little cat. The scene shifted to a forest. The battle on the other side wasn't over yet. Cut to the grim face of Commander 5. Those parasites are still alive. We're facing them with wounded people. Kim Yura glared angrily. Damn it, why now? This time it's really bad. Cut to Jihan in meeting them again. See you later. Horse King smiled with the little cat on his head, stomping his foot while Jihan looked confused. Huh? What are you talking about? Suddenly Horse King dashed off, leaving Ji-hyun puzzled. Heart King was enchanted. Horse King is so charming. Horse King rushed forward with the little cat, his face serious. Everyone hang in there a little longer. The pink and blue monsters leaned on their hands, watching Red Mask crying buried underground. His face wasn't even there, let alone the mask. Not even a main character, but acting all dramatic with the Red Mask. The group stood amidst the rubble, their bodies battered and bloodied. Their eyes fixed on the fifth commander standing atop the building ahead. It didn't matter what era or what world this was, everyone would remember this moment. The commander's face darkened, twisting into something grotesque and ugly as they dropped to one knee before them. The entire group stared up, stunned, unable to hide their shock and disbelief. Behind a nearby boulder, two shadowy figures trembled with fear. Crap, they found out we betrayed them, didn't they? One of them whispered, their voice quivering. We need to lay low for now. Meanwhile, a mysterious man observed the entire scene from afar, a smirk curling across his lips as he evaluated the situation. Looks like this might be a little too much for you to handle, Fifth Commander. His mocking voice echoed from a massive cube-shaped spacecraft floating high above the battlefield. Don't tell me. You're actually losing to a bunch of humans. The Fifth Commander's eyes blazed with rage as they snapped back. Shut up, like you're doing anything useful. You just sit on your damn spaceship all day. The man watched everything unfold on a large display screen, his voice dripping with sarcasm. Big words for someone covered in wounds. Look at you, battered, barely holding on. At this rate I doubt you'll last much longer. Hearing that only made the Fifth Commander's fist clench tighter, their whole body trembling in fury. The voice offered again. If you need help I could step in, but the commander leapt down from the building with incredible force. The ground splitting beneath them upon impact. Raising a hand with unwavering confidence, they declared, just sit back and watch. I'll deal with these insects myself. Johann gritted his teeth, swearing under his breath as he stared at the tablet in his hands. Damn it, just a little longer, 3 more minutes. That's all we need. Covered in injuries, Kim Yura shoved manager Lee aside. Hey kid, got anything useful left? 3 minutes, right? I'll hold them off. But a blood-stained hand reached out, stopping her. Come on, what are you guys even thinking? Kwang stepped forward, brimming with confidence and reckless bravado. The villain's scene isn't over yet, leave this to me. Yura looked at him with pure disdain. What the hell is he saying? Is he still delirious? Johann panicked, shouting, you idiot, snap out of it. Move, get out of the way. But Kyung ignored them all, grinning like a madman, his body trembling with excitement. Stop messing around, just lie down and rest. Do you have a death wish? Damn, he's actually gone insane. Before Jihan could finish his rant, Kaiwang burst into manic laughter. It's here. Ha, this feels amazing, ha ha ha. I'm gonna slaughter them all, ha ha ha. Even the monsters hiding behind the rocks charged out as if answering the call. The Demon King has returned, eyes ablaze. Kaiwang lunged like a human missile, roaring. You'll be the first to go down, you green freak. The creature's eyes widened, confused. Green freak with a smirk. It effortlessly dodged Kaiwang's fierce punch, mocking pathetic lowly species. The Fifth Commander countered with a brutal blow to Kaiwang's stomach, forcing a mouthful of blood to spill from his lips. But they didn't stop there, dragging him along the ground. Time for a little nap. The commander gripped Kaiwang's head and slammed it into the earth, cracking it wide open. Lee and Johann watched in horror, screaming. Kaiwang. As the dust settled, Kaiwang lay bloodied and broken among the shattered debris. The Fifth Commander turned away with cold arrogance. A nameless fool daring to act tough, that's one down. But then the faint sound of falling stones and footsteps rising from the wreckage. The commander's eyes widened in disbelief. Somehow Kaiwang had appeared behind them, radiating an intense, deadly aura. His battered body pulsed with a strange blue light, prompting the commander to gasp. What kind of aura is that with that wrecked body? You shouldn't even be standing. Furious, the Fifth Commander swung a powerful punch. Still don't get it, do you? The strike sent Kwang flying several meters, landing hard on the ground. That takes care of him for sure, but Kwang rose again, laughing like a man possessed. You really thought that was enough, haha. Overwhelmed with euphoria, he thought to himself, Mom. This is the first time I felt this much dopamine. This indescribable feeling. This overflowing power, God, this feels so damn good I can't hold it in anymore. The fifth commander unleashed a wave of power, lifting the surrounding boulders effortlessly into the air. His voice rang out cold and decisive. You're tougher than I thought, but this little game ends now. With that, he hurled all the rocks at Kaiwan. Once again, Kaiwan's body was sent flying. Blood and injuries covering him as he crashed into the distance. Manager Lee screamed in panic, making Kim Yura beside him flinch in shock. Did we take him down? While the fifth commander was still stunned, trying to process what had happened. Q Wong suddenly appeared right in front of him, closing the distance in an instant. But the fifth commander reacted quickly, effortlessly dodging the surprise attack. He countered with a relentless barrage of punches, landing them squarely on Kaiwang. Kim Yura stammered in disbelief. Suddenly Kaiwang stomped hard onto the ground, cracking the earth beneath his feet. The fifth commander frowned, the corner of his mouth twitching with unease. This guy, but Kaiwang only burst into a wide, crazed grin, laughing wildly, ha ha ha. My power, it's overflowing, I can't stop it. The two of them charged at each other, exchanging blow after blow in a brutal, unrelenting brawl. At that moment, a system notification appeared. Code AU3317, rank B, hero title. Demon King, real name Han Kyung, ability. Cliché power increases whenever exposed to corny villain lines from action hero movies. From afar, Kimura shouted at the top of her lungs, finish him. The crowd around them erupted in support, chanting in unison, finish him, finish him. The fifth commander lashed out with a powerful kick, but Kwang ducked down with ease, avoiding the strike. In an instant, he lunged forward, slamming his forehead into the commander's body. Caught off guard by the headbutt, the fifth commander stumbled back but quickly retaliated with a devastating punch. Sending Kwang flying useless, he sneered. From a distance, the mysterious man observing the fight smirked in amusement. Ho ho, just look at that, blood dripped onto the shattered ground, no one sure whose it was. The fifth commander's eyes widened in disbelief as he stared at his bloodied hand, his nose still dripping crimson. He actually hurt me. Furious, the commander opened his mouth, summoning a massive orb of energy. His voice boomed with rage, you dare use such filthy tricks on me. Kim Yura's eyes widened in horror as she screamed that glow. No, run. A colossal blast erupted, tearing through everything nearby, blowing a massive hole into the wall. Yura collapsed to the ground, drained and trembling, gasping for air. The fifth commander calmly wiped the blood from his mouth with one hand, silencing his speechless subordinate with the other. Out of the smoky wreckage, a towering, muscular figure slowly emerged. Look at that, the commander's eyes widened in shock. Kaiwang, battered and bruised, was being supported by a strong, familiar hand. With a radiant grin, Horse King embraced Kaiwang, beaming with energy. Horse King. Bloodied and stunned, Kim Yura gasped, Yu. Even Johan beside her was frozen. Voice trembling, wait, that is that. Their eyes widened in disbelief as the golden, shimmering figure of the transformed cat emerged, dazzling everyone with its majestic aura. The sacred beast fully evolved. Johan's jaw dropped, staring at Horse King in awe. He actually fused with Rang. The only response from Horse King was a casual glance over her. His eyes shot wide open as he noticed the bright golden kitten grinning ear to ear. Mom. What the hell is this? Leaping back in shock, Horse King burst into loud, uncontrollable laughter. Haha. You scared the hell out of me. A second later and I'd be dead, ha ha ha. The fifth commander jumped up in fury, snarling, I don't know how the hell you're still alive, but with a thunderous crash, he slammed down onto the battlefield, roaring, I'll kill you again. But before he could strike, Horse King had already appeared behind him, casually taunting, too slow. Enraged, the fifth commander swung around to attack. You bastard. But Horse King effortlessly ducked under the punch, wearing a cocky grin. He spun around and slammed his fist into the commander. Time to sleep. The powerful blow sent the fifth commander flying several meters through the air, grinding his teeth in humiliation. The commander, see, damn it, this is beyond disgraceful. His face twisted with veins of rage as he screamed, what are you all standing there for? Kill them. Kill them all. In an instant his subordinates appeared all around shouting in unison, kill them, kill them. A vanguard soldier charged straight for Horse King. Bellowing, wipe them all out of nowhere, a massive steel box crashed down, flattening the enemy soldier in an instant. Johan's eyes, sparkling with excitement, dashed forward. Perfect timing, now it's your turn to tremble in fear. The system's robotic voice echoed from the display screen on the box. Please enter the password, with a smug, satisfied grin plastered across his bloodied face. Johann spoke each word, slowly relishing every syllable. The password is Yura belongs to me forever. The system responded instantly, password confirmed. The box hissed open, sparkling eyes blinked awake. Bloody and bruised, Johann raised his arm high, gripping the hand of a massive bright pink combat robot. He shouted with pride, the child born from my genius and our love, the mecha slayer, the tank destroyer. The robot batted its eyes playfully and pouted adorably as Johann introduced it with flair. Johann Yura, meet Yura Jr., my daughter. Manager Lee struggled to hold back Kim Yura, whose face was darkening with barely contained rage. Johann spun the robot around dramatically and launched it into the fray. Solterra, the robot, twirled into the crowd of monsters. Firing off countless beams of brilliant light in every direction, Johann clutched the robot tightly as it tilted its head and opened its mouth. Horizon, a massive energy blast erupted from its core, obliterating everything in its path. SSA, the fifth commander, roared in fury at the scene. AR. You bastards, I won't forgive you. Meanwhile, Horse King remained perfectly calm, playfully teasing Jesus that gave me a heart attack. Suddenly Horse King opened his mouth wide, sucking in everything around him with terrifying force. Alright, enough jokes now, I'll finish this properly. The immense suction forced Manager Lee and Kaiwang to shield their eyes. The little golden kitten squeezed its eyes shut, emitting a blinding golden glow. The light expanded, growing larger until it completely engulfed the kitten. Kimura shielded her eyes, gasping in awe. What the hell is that? That damn horse-faced idiot looks like he's ready to show us something. She watched baffled as Horse King reached into the swirling vortex of brilliant golden light. Show us what exactly? With his muscles rippling with raw energy, Horse King raised his arm within the vortex. The power of a sacred beast reflects the potential of its master. A fully evolved sacred beast can manifest that potential into reality. Johann's voice crackled with excitement as Kimura stared wide-eyed, unable to process it all. Manifest potential. What does that even mean? Her eyes sparkled, reflecting the golden light as Johann's voice rang out again, breathless with anticipation. It's my first time seeing this too. This is going to be good. From the golden portal, Horse King pulled out a weapon overflowing with terrifying energy. The four of them, battered, bruised, covered in blood, couldn't hide their shock. Is that? Grinning ear to ear, Horse King revealed his new weapon, a gigantic glowing pig's trotter. The others froze dumbfounded. That's Horse King's potential. The fifth commander bellowed with rage. What kind of sick joke are you pulling now? Horse King swung the massive pig trotter with a cocky grin. Watch closely. He flexed his muscles, unleashing a roaring wave of blue energy that blew away everything in its path. Dropping to one knee, Horse King raised the glowing weapon, readying his stance. It's happening. With a deafening roar, Horse King smashed the weapon into the incoming energy blast. I can't hold back anymore. The collision of their immense powers triggered a violent earthquake, forcing Manager Lee and Johann to brace themselves against the howling winds. The fifth commander's energy wave slowly enveloped Horse King's body, corroding his skin piece by piece. Kimura screamed in horror and no. But Horse King simply smiled, overflowing with unshakable confidence. Watch this. The corroded pig trotter weapon burst into radiant light. Ultimate overdrive with unstoppable force. Horse King cut straight through the raging energy wave, charging forward. The fifth commander was left speechless, stunned by the impossible sight. Everything in Horse King's path was cleaved apart, exploding in his wake. It was as if the earth itself had been torn in two by a colossal energy beam. The fifth commander shielded his eyes from the blinding light, but it was too late. Seizing the moment, Horse King leapt high into the air, his weapon raised. In the fifth commander's crimson eyes, all that remained was the blinding brilliance of Horse King. The muscles on Horse King's body rippled, his strength on full display. The fifth commander's eyes sparkled with wonder. unable to hide his awe, too big so huge. The image of Horse King burned itself into his vision with every passing second. So beautiful, with a thunderous roar, Horse King slammed the weapon down on the fifth commander with earth-shattering force, cracking the ground wide open, sending debris and shattered rock flying in every direction aboard a massive spaceship drifting silently through space. A powerful figure sat upon the highest throne. His hand moved ever so slightly as he gazed down at the screen below with cold indifference. The corners of his mouth curled into a faint, knowing smirk as he slowly spoke. Well, meanwhile back on the battlefield, violent tremors rocked the ground. Heart King, carrying Li Jihan on his back, stumbled forward in panic, shouting, "What the hell? What's with these tremors? What the hell is going on?" Li Jihan clung tightly to his shoulders, her heart pounding wildly. This feeling, her eyes began to shimmer with tears, not of fear, but of pure, overwhelming relief. "It's Horse King," she whispered under her breath, her voice trembling with joy. Heart King grimaced in pain as he kept running, cursing, "Damn it, my back." But he gritted his teeth and sprinted forward with everything he had, carrying her through the rubble-strewn forest path. "I knew it, I knew you'd pull through somehow," Li Jian thought, her grip tightening around him. The aftermath of the brutal battle left nothing but devastation behind, the landscape reduced to ruins. Smoke and debris filling the air. Among the wreckage, the fifth commander lay motionless, severely wounded and sprawled on the ground. Horse King stood nearby, his expression twisted in pain. Yet a triumphant grin stretched across his face. He lifted the enormous pig-trotter weapon onto his shoulder, glancing up toward the looming spaceship in the sky. "So I really won, huh?" he muttered to himself. A quiet satisfaction in his voice. Unbeknownst to him, a pair of eyes stared back through the screen aboard the ship, the same powerful figure from before, clad in sleek armor, arms folded across his chest. He remained silent, watching Horse King with an unreadable expression, his piercing gaze locked onto the battlefield below. On the spaceship floating high above, Horse King smirked and called out provocatively, "Hey, you coward, hiding up there all day, stop barking orders from a distance and come down here. Let's have some real fun." As soon as the words left his mouth, the figure truly stepped out from the hovering spacecraft. His eyes were calm and indifferent as he glanced down at the scene below. Back inside the command center of the mothership, a deep, commanding voice echoed, "So Commander 5 has already fallen." Another voice promptly responded, "Yes, sir." The man seated at the highest throne leaned forward, resting his chin on his hand, a smile of amusement creeping across his lips. "Oh, interesting. What's so special about this planet?" The subordinate answered flatly, "It seems this planet's different from our usual harvests." Their eyes drifted toward the surface, where Horse King and his group stood among the rubble. The subordinate explained further, "The locals here, they've undergone various forms of evolution just to survive the endless cycle of war." The man chuckled with disdain, repeating the word mockingly, "Evolution, hey ha." "Ha." Commander 7, standing nearby with his eyes closed, calmly added, "We still don't know the reason behind it, but it might be worth studying." But the man on the throne immediately scowled with irritation. "Study screw that," he sneered. His crimson eyes glowed faintly as he crossed his legs on the throne, his low, contemptuous voice reverberating through the chamber. "Vermin are vermin no matter how much they evolve. Whether the ants grow twice as big or the mosquitoes fly 3-4 times faster, it's all meaningless." Sticking out his tongue, he licked his fingertip and taunted with a smirk, "Hey, Commander 7, you think there's any bug down there stronger than you?" Commander 7 pressed his lips together, pausing for a moment, then replied firmly, "No." Hearing that, the man on the throne grinned in satisfaction. "Hemp, good. You almost sounded like you pitted those little insects there for a second." Commander 7 opened his eyes, letting out a faint chuckle. "Pity, haha, I misspoke." A fragment of memory flickered in his mind. In the midst of flames and carnage, a young man with wild, disheveled hair sat slumped on the blood-soaked ground, his eyes locked onto a staggering figure standing in the fire. Blood poured from his nose and mouth, yet his words were filled with unwavering resolve. "Your will, it's certain." The next moment, a clean, ruthless slash split the man in two. The youth's eyes burned with a cold, golden light. Watching the bloody corpse fall, it was a will so fierce it dared to sever even his own bloodline. With his own hands behind him, the towering man had wrapped his arms around Commander 7, the ground beneath them littered with corpses. the scent of his father's blood still clinging to his hands, that brutal resolve. A girl cried in agony nearby, her trembling voice breaking through the silence. I believe in you. The memory faded. Commander 7 landed heavily on the ground, shattering the dirt and sending debris flying in all directions. A powerful gust of wind erupted around him. A small cat nearby narrowed its eyes and let out a low meow, sensing the overwhelming aura. At the same time, Horse King's expression darkened, feeling the immense power radiating from Commander 7. So this guy's no pushover. His eyes sharpened into a cold, piercing glare as his deep voice rumbled. Nothing's changed. Rank monster class. Commander 7 true name abilities. Commander 7 suddenly stomped hard on the ground, cracking the earth beneath him into a deep crater. An intense, suffocating pressure crushed down on everyone present. Even Kai Wong and Manager Lee were left speechless by the overwhelming force. Commander 7 raised his foot once more. With every step, Commander 7 took the ground beneath him shattered like fragile glass. The already suffocating air pressing down on Johann grew even heavier, forcing him to grit his teeth in agony. Commander 7's long strides steadily carried him closer and closer to the group. Kimura's pupil shrank to pinpricks, her eyes wide with sheer terror. Commander 7 passed by her effortlessly, as if she didn't even exist. Manager Lee's eyes widened in panic as his body froze in place, trembling uncontrollably. I can't move, he realized in horror. But Commander 7 didn't spare them a second glance. He paused for a brief moment, then continued forward, completely indifferent to their fear. His voice broke the silence, cold and dismissive. Trash doesn't interest me. He tilted his head slightly, his sharp gaze landing on two subordinates hiding behind a nearby boulder. The moment they locked eyes with him, they flinched in terror. With a swift motion of his hand, Commander 7 sliced the air toward them. They screamed in panic. He saw us. Commander Dub, we're sorry, but before they could finish, their bodies were torn apart like paper, their remains flung violently through the air. The entire group stood frozen in shock. He just killed his own men, they thought in disbelief. Kim Yura desperately tried to move, only to feel her body growing even more paralyzed. Damn it, I can't move, this is bad. Unbeknownst to them, Horse King had already appeared above Commander 7, raising his infamous pig leg weapon high into the air. He slammed it down with all his strength, the impact unleashing a powerful shockwave that shook the earth beneath them. But when the dust cleared, Commander 7 still stood there unmoving, completely unharmed. Horse King's expression twisted with dread. Sweat pouring down his face, his weapon slipped from his trembling hand and clattered to the ground. Commander 7 reached out, seizing both of Horse King's arms with crushing force, his grip so tight the limbs immediately turned purple. With his other hand, he grabbed Horse King by the throat and lifted him off the ground with ease. This is all you've got, Commander 7 sneered coldly, holding him aloft as if he weighed nothing. His icy gaze locked on to him. You people, how did you break past the limits of human potential? Answer me if you value your life. Horse King, his body still trembling, forced a shaky smile onto his face, stuttering. What the hell are you talking about? Curious, huh? If you want to know, in an instant he kneed Commander 7 in the gut and shouted. It'll cost you 501, but his grin faltered immediately. Something was wrong. Commander 7 easily caught his leg midair, his low menacing voice rumbling. I gave you a chance to live and you threw it away. Without hesitation, Commander 7 spun him around and slammed him violently into the ground. A splatter of blood bursting from Horse King's mouth. With a flick of his hand, Commander 7 summoned razor-sharp black claws, his eyes glinting with lethal intent. The ground around them quaked as debris exploded outward. Horse King coughed up another mouthful of blood, wincing in agony. Commander 7 leapt back, creating distance, leaving Horse King sprawled helplessly among the rubble. Kim Yura, overcome with grief, screamed his name, her tears and sweat mixing together. OAPA. Commander 7 raised his arm toward the sky. At once massive golden claws materialized amidst a storm of lightning. His expression was ice-cold, devoid of mercy. He spoke slowly, each word like a death sentence. Too bad. Horse King forced himself to sit up, his blurry vision filled with the blinding storm of crackling lightning. Commander 7 lowered his hand, his voice grim and final. Goodbye. The thunder roared like the heavens themselves were enraged as the golden claws tore through the air, crashing down toward Horse King. Gritting his teeth, Horse King braced for the unbearable pain that ripped through his body, but then a spark, an unfamiliar surge, ignited within him. Commander Seven's claws pressed down relentlessly when suddenly his eyes widened. Something was off. Without him noticing, Horse King's pig leg weapon had somehow appeared. Blocking the claws in mid-air, a knowing smirk crept across Horse King's battered face. You remember the title of this story, right? Gripping his pig leg weapon tightly. Horse King rose to his feet, the pink aura radiating around him glowing brighter than ever. His voice boomed defiantly. Main characters don't die that easily, you idiot. Commander Seven's eyes widened in disbelief. What? The vibrant pink energy surged around Horse King, swirling, chaotically rippling through the battlefield. Etched on his body, the image of a tiger roared to life, its fierce spirit awakening with a mighty roar. For the first time, Commander Seven froze, his overwhelming presence shaken. His once unstoppable lightning claws began to crack, overtaken by the encroaching pink energy. Gritting his teeth, Horse King unleashed an immense burst of power. His knees buckled, but he drove his weapon forward, the world erupting into a whirlwind of brilliant colors. His shout echoed across the battlefield. I can't hold back anymore. Horse King's strike hit the ground with enough force to make it tremble. Huge chunks of golden rock shattered and rained down like a violent storm. From amidst the chaos, a familiar figure appeared, radiating a brilliant golden aura as she approached. Her voice was calm yet confident. Sorry I'm late. Seeing her, Horse King broke into an excited grin. Right on time, hey ha. Li Jihan smiled with unwavering confidence. Raising her hand as radiant golden energy surged around her, her presence was undeniable, a beautiful, formidable heroine. Heart King, wide-eyed with disbelief, shouted, That's the girl who pinched me, isn't it? Suddenly a deafening roar filled the air as a massive truck flew over Cheong's head. A loud, teasing voice blasted from the speakers, making him instinctively glance upward. Feels like we're missing a soundtrack, don't you all think? The truck slammed down in front of Johan with a thunderous crash. The door swung open and a group of bizarre-looking people jumped out, their faces marked with eerie paint and wicked grins. Straight to hell, baby. Mega dead blonde hair fluttered in the wind as a girl stepped forward carrying an electric guitar strapped across her back with fierce, rebellious energy. Horse King froze in shock. The girl, her face decorated with wild, chaotic patterns, struck a dramatic pose and shouted, What's the point of sending someone to hell if there's no music? Rock and roll never dies. Johan's jaw dropped, eyes wide with disbelief. Who the hell is that? But beside him, Kimura's expression shifted, a mix of realization and shock. Her mind raced back to the image of a weak, teary-eyed girl sobbing. Apa, her voice trembled. This her Dave's little sister. The girl now stood proudly atop the towering speaker rig, while behind her a group of equally eccentric rock star-like misfits cheered wildly. The second generation of Megadeth is here. Horse King turned toward Commander Seven, his grin returning, eyes gleaming with exhilaration. Hey, what was it you just asked me again? Swinging his iconic weapon a few times with casual flair, he straightened his stance and spoke with absolute confidence. All right. You wanted to know how we managed to push past human limits, didn't you? His playful smirk faded, replaced by a sharp, steely gaze as his voice grew low and resolute. The reason we refuse to fall even when we're exhausted to the brink. His voice echoed across the battlefield, reaching the ears of Megadeth, Johan, Kim, Yura, Heart King, and even Dave's sister. You think it's about justice? He wrong. I don't even know what that is. Whether it's expectations, criticism, or support. Manager Lee and Kaiwong, inspired by his words, tighten their grips on their weapons, preparing for the fight ahead. It doesn't matter what it is. As long as people are watching, we'll survive. Raising his weapon high, Horse King's confident grin returned, bolstered by the energy of everyone standing behind him. Because we are unapologetic, full-blown spotlight addicts. Commander Seven arched a brow, his gaze cold and unreadable as he peered down at them. All right then, he raised his voice as the battlefield burst with vibrant, blinding light. Get ready, let's fight. Horse King pointed his pork leg weapon straight at Commander Seven and called out, making everyone practically fall over in disbelief. But before that he added with a teasing grin. Hey, mind coming down here? Dave's little sister instantly backed him up, shouting, yeah, stop hiding up there like a coward, get down here. Down here right now. Manager Lee and Kaiwan jumped in, joining the ridiculous chant, come on down. Come on down, man, we love you, alien dude, hoo-hoo. Johan, on the other hand, completely freaked out. You idiots, are you all insane? Who the hell actually comes down just because they're told to? Before he could finish ranting, heavy footsteps hit the ground with a loud thud. Commander 7 was already standing tall on the battlefield, sending Johan into utter shock. Wait, you actually came down? Suddenly rapid footsteps echoed across the field. Hey, Heart King charged to Commander 7, puckering his lips and blowing exaggerated kisses. His face beaming with excitement. That new smell, fresh meat, a taste of the universe, huh? Can't resist. Before he could finish rambling, Commander 7 swatted him away like a rag doll. Come here and give Big Sis a hug, will ya? Heart King slammed into a nearby wall, shattering glass everywhere. Li Jian screamed in horror. Heart King. Commander 7 flashed a sinister grin, his body radiating overwhelming bloodlust. So this is Earth, huh? The more I see, the more interesting it gets. Even when you're terrified. You lot refuse to lose that foolish optimism. A dark, eerie aura began swirling around him as his voice dropped low with chilling curiosity. Now I'm curious. Once your arms and legs are shattered, a black razor-sharp claw emerged from the thick dark purple smoke. His voice grating through clenched teeth, and your muscles are torn to pieces. A pillar of smoke coiled around him like a monstrous veil. Let's see if you can still laugh then. Kaiwan's eyes widened with disbelief. Whoa, textbook villain transformation right here. He's about to go full monster mode, and man, this view is killer. Juan clenched his fists, grinding his teeth in frustration. Wait, all I wanted was to hype you up a little, dude. Kimura's fist flared with bright red energy as she called out, trying to steady the group. Everyone stay calm. My grandma always said, even in a tiger's den, if you stay cool, Commander. 7 opened his grotesque mouth, exposing rows of jagged razor-sharp teeth, cutting her off mid-sentence. So what? In a flash, his entire body mutated into a towering, jet-black monstrosity with a horrifying set of fangs. Class Monster Type, Commander 7 ability Monstrification, the power to transform into a monstrous form fueled entirely by willpower. Unleashing strength far beyond human limits. Kimura's forced grin twitched nervously. Okay, those fangs are a bit excessive. Next time a little warning would be nice. Commander 7 crouched, his immense power cracking the ground beneath him as he prepared to leap. Show me your pitiful, desperate faces. Begging for your lives. In a blur, he shot forward, bypassing everyone and slamming into Horse King. The two crashed into a nearby wall, sending debris flying everywhere as dust engulfed the scene. Somewhere amid the chaos, worried voices called out Horse King, but his calm, almost playful voice cut through the dust, making Commander 7 hesitate for a split second. Wow, you really startled me there. Gritting his teeth, Horse King pushed back, blocking Commander 7's massive head with his weapon. You sneaky coward, attacking me like that, but looks like that was pointless, huh? With that, he swung his weapon upward, countering with all his might. Take that, my rebuttal, bastard. Leaping high into the air, Horse King descended with a fierce battle cry. Commander 7 smirked, glancing up. Ha, bet the view from up there is nice. The two collided midair. Unleashing a furious, brutal brawl, fists and blades clashed in a flurry of deadly precision side strikes. Tackles, even brutal skull-cracking moves straight out of Jiang Chongdong street fights. Juhan gasped in shock. He's going toe-to-toe with that monster. That guy's insane strong, but Kaiwang, observing closely, had already noticed the grim truth. His eyes darkened with worry as he called out. Look again. Despite the fierce exchange, blood was pouring from every part of Horse King's body, his mouth, his arms, his legs. It didn't take a genius to see dudes getting his ass kicked. A furious roar echoed across the battlefield. What the hell are you guys doing just standing there? Muscles rippled down his arms, broad and powerful. Our junior is getting his ass kicked over there. His legs were thick and solid like tree trunks. You still just gonna stand here? His shoulders and back were massive, practically radiating strength. Aren't we supposed to share the burden with our fellow teammates? No one even noticed when the full development council of Easy Fun Gym had assembled behind them. Physical strength is the foundation of our nation. We won't stand for this boom, the self-proclaimed representative of Easy Fun Gym. The council members introduced themselves, proudly fist-clenched Civilians Development Council. Responsible for all business aid, that's business and business combined at Easy Fun Gym. Kim Yura blinked, completely dumbfounded. Oh well. No wonder the gym's doing so terribly. Meanwhile, Kaiwang immediately recognized someone in the group and stammered nervously. Chairman. The chairman clenched his fist and roared. All right, let's go. But just as the whole group prepared to charge, Manager Lee appeared out of nowhere, spreading his arms wide to block their path. What the hell are you doing, manager? The chairman looked genuinely confused. Our boys are in danger. Even the older uncle beside him chimed in, move it, kid, but Manager Lee stood his ground, eyes firm, voice unwavering. No sir, I'm sorry, but this is a matter of pride. A battle between men. His gaze drifted toward the fierce brawl still raging in the distance. We can't taint his resolve, we can't tarnish his spirit. Horse King, locked in combat, glanced over at Manager Lee. The two exchanged a silent nod, both understanding the unspoken decision. Looking at Horse King fighting with every ounce of strength, Manager Lee explained to the others, can't you see? He's practically screaming victory with every punch. Lee Ji-hyun placed a hand over her heart, her voice steady with admiration. Manager's right, Horse King showing us with his own two hands. A soft smile spread across her face as she gazed at Horse King, eyes shimmering with pride. That no matter how impossible the challenge, if you never give up, you grow stronger. The chairman flushed with pride, nodding eagerly. Grow stronger, huh? It's exactly what muscle building is all about. That kid's really come a long way. The older uncle beside him was so touched he teared up. No doubt about it, that kid's got the spirit of a true Maong. We believe in you, Horse King. Lee Ji-han clasped her hands together, eyes closing in quiet faith. Yeah, right now all we can do is trust him, cheer for him. Suddenly a voice full of rage and pure desperation ripped through the air. What the hell are you all doing? Horse King shouted, are you blind or what? I'm literally dying over here. I've been yelling for help this whole damn time. What the hell is wrong with you people? Everyone froze dead silent. Not a word came out, but a moment later, as if reality finally sank in, they all roared together, charging toward Commander 7. Let's go. Q Wong and Manager Lee teamed up, their fists slamming toward Commander 7 with synchronized precision. These punches are from the handsome dudes who never get enough screen time but are still famous as hell. Commander 7 effortlessly caught both of their punches, unfazed. With a single brutal stomp, the ground cracked beneath him, sending the whole group flying backward like rag dolls.
Ultimate Gym Technique Deadlift Overload.
Commander 7's fists flew in a blur, raining down like meteors. Each blow easily knocked the fighters aside. The older uncle took a direct hit, blood gushing from his nose and mouth. Yuhan clutched his little robot companion, his eyes wild with reckless courage as he joined the charge. Destruction dance. But Commander 7 calmly raised a hand, blocking Johan's desperate, explosive strike with ease. Johan's eyes widened, pure disbelief written all over his face. Johan couldn't help but scream in panic when he saw his attack had absolutely no effect on Commander 7. No way! Commander 7 roared furiously, baring his razor-sharp teeth as he lunged straight for Johan. The terrifying image of those jagged fangs was burned into Johan's eyes. But just as it seemed like the end, a thunderous explosion erupted, shaking the ground and sending dust and debris flying everywhere. Johan squeezed his eyes shut in fear. But after a moment he cautiously opened them. Heart King was standing right in front of him, shielding him from Commander 7's deadly claws with his own body. Gritting his teeth, Heart King groaned. Damn, this guy's not easy to deal with at all. Johan's eyes widened in shock. Heart King. Despite struggling to hold back Commander 7, Heart King forced a grin inside. Relax, sweetie, big sis here's not interested in little boys like you. And with that, he grabbed Johan by the collar, hoisting him up effortlessly. What you're doing? Johan stammered, completely confused. Heart King leaned in, his bright red lips dangerously close. Do me a little favor, all right? Johan's face contorted in pure terror. Hell no, no way, man, but it was pointless. Heart King wasn't asking for permission. Don't get the wrong idea, sweetheart. Big sis ain't into bad boys. Johan's terrified scream echoed across the battlefield, sending shivers down Kwang and Manager Lee's spines. Commander 7 squinted slightly, his gaze drifting toward the two of them. Meanwhile, Heart King's muscles bulged and swelled even larger, transforming his body completely. A rank hero Heart King ability Yang Kiss steals Yang energy from his target through a kiss. Enhancing his physical strength, victims feel euphoric. With Johann practically limp in one hand, Heart King shoved Commander 7 back with the other. Taking a deep breath, he declared secret technique of love first stance. In a flash, Heart King dashed around the battlefield, planting passionate kisses on everyone to boost his power. Commander 7 raised a brow, unimpressed. "Oh, you drain energy from men." But Heart King wasn't done, he pulled back his fist. Secret technique of love second stance. A massive pink explosion erupted, blasting shock waves of dust and glittery smoke across the battlefield. Love and hate smash. But before the punch could connect, Commander 7 easily caught his fist. Not bad, but with a thunderous punch of his own, Commander 7 sent Heart King flying. "I'm not into your little bluff fantasies." Commander 7 leapt back, staying alert. Blood poured from Heart King's nose as he wiped his face, still grinning, playing hard to get cute. Immediately, Heart King ducked low, and a massive truck flew into the air, landing right in front of Commander 7 with a loud crash. Standing atop the truck, a girl with wild makeup and a rebellious look gripped her guitar and shouted, "Hey, you sure love showing off those muscles, huh?" The rest of her crew climbed out, all dressed with the same punk rock attitude. They shouted in unison, "Then let's see how your eardrums hold up." Dave's little sister grinned mischievously, strumming her guitar. "Let's dance to the rhythm of death tune." A deafening bone-rattling sound wave blasted across the battlefield. Commander 7 dodged effortlessly, scoffing. "Is that all?" But suddenly he froze, sensing something off. Despite his wounds, Heart King lunged in, blocking Commander 7's path. "Where you think you're going, handsome?" The screeching, hellish sounds slammed into Commander 7 like a banshee's wail straight from the underworld. An earth-shaking explosion ripped through the area, sending everything flying. Kyung lay flat on the ground, peeking up. Did we get him?" Beside him, Kimura shouted, "Shut up, almost done," but heavy thudding footsteps crushed any hope. Commander 7 was still standing, his every step shaking the ground. He bared his sharp teeth, coughing lightly. "Okay up," then burst out laughing, a deep, unsettling cackle. At the same time, Horse King chuckled along. Both men locked in eerie silence. For a long, tense moment, Lee Jihan rushed over, helping Horse King steady himself. Commander 7's eyes glowed gold as he stared at her, and for a moment he saw his little sister. Why, his sister's tear-streaked face flashed in his memory. Why did you do it? Her devastated expression haunted him even now. When his gaze snapped back to Lee Jihan, her eyes burned with unrelenting fury. Commander 7 froze, oddly silent. A golden light radiated from his body, shocking Dave's little sister, his form. Commander 7 returned to his original appearance, floating slightly above the ground. A few hours earlier, while attacking a human, his victim had uttered something hovering in the sky before Horse King and Lee Jihan. Commander 7 declared, "God only gives humans the trials they can overcome. That's why I never give up." His words left Kaiwang and Jihan gaping in disbelief. "Maybe if you survive this challenge," Commander 7 sneered, "we'll meet again." But as he prepared to leave, he smirked, adding one last jab. "Oh, right." He raised his hand, conjuring a blinding golden sphere of energy. "I don't believe in God anyway." A massive meteor was hurtling toward Earth from deep space. On every news broadcast, the warning echoed urgently. Breaking news. A giant meteor is rapidly approaching Central Seoul. Due to its proximity, severe electromagnetic interference has disabled all communication networks across the city. A cell phone slipped from someone's trembling hand, the screen shattering on impact. But even through the broken glass, the voice from the device kept playing. It remains unclear whether the sudden retreat of the monsters is connected to this current situation. The Hero Management Bureau has yet to release any official statement. Panic gripped the city. Everywhere, people turned their eyes toward the sky, their faces pale, their hearts racing. The broadcast continued relentlessly. "Citizens located near the projected impact zone, please evacuate immediately to a safe area in a lavish high-tech room filled with strange glass display cases." The news broadcast echoed faintly. A mysterious voice broke the silence. Well, looks like this place is about to turn into a disaster. Zone the meteor descended rapidly, its sheer size casting an ominous shadow across the city. The streets erupted into chaos as terrified citizens screamed and fled in every direction. Somebody help. High above Commander 7 stood silently, a cruel mocking smile curling across his face as he looked down. Try and survive this if you can. With that, his form blurred and vanished, returning to the alien mothership. He bowed respectfully as he entered the command room. Leader, I've returned. The leader, lounging casually on a grand throne, rested his chin on his hand with a bored expression. Took you long enough this time. Anything unusual to report? Commander 7 answered flatly, his voice cold and unwavering. No. Everything's been handled. But before he could finish, one of his subordinates nervously spoke up. But Commander, it's not over. In the blink of an eye, a single flick of Commander 7's hand reduced the subordinate to dust, scattering ash across the polished floor. The other nearby soldiers recoiled in horror, eyes wide with fear, retreating instinctively. From the throne, the leader let out a low, disinterested voice. Enough, let's go back. In the end, they've lost their 5th Corps commander and gained nothing in return. His piercing eyes narrowed slightly as he added, and for this failure you'll be held responsible, Commander 7. But Commander 7's voice rang out steady and different. I have nothing to defend. The ship began its slow departure from Earth's atmosphere. One of the remaining subordinates cheered softly. We're finally going home. But beside him, Commander 7's icy gaze shifted toward the nearby screen. His eyes sharpened dangerously. Gain nothing. We'll see. On the control screen, the image of Horse King and his battered group appeared, bloody, bruised. Commander 7's lips curled into a cruel, knowing smile. Just a little longer. Let's see how long they last. A massive meteor was hurtling toward Earth at incredible speed. A small monster sobbed uncontrollably. Please let us go home. Q Wong pointed at it in shock, shouting, what the hell is that? Another monster, equally terrified, cried out, Commander of the 7th Legion, please. Still reeling from shock, Kaiwan could barely process what he was seeing. Wait, that's their real form. And they're still alive. Manager Lee looked up at the sky, frozen in disbelief. We're really done for this time. But Kim Yura frowned and barked back, don't say that with that pathetic look on your face. Johan, still full of energy, clutched onto his nearly busted robot, his eyes blazing. Dead. You think these S-rank armbands are just for show? With that, he shouted, and the robot fired a barrage of missiles straight toward the massive meteor. Fire everything. But even that overwhelming assault wasn't enough to stop it. The meteor kept coming. Manager Lee's voice trembled, heavy with despair. So this is really the end? Hakimura clenched her fists in frustration. Will you shut up for a second? Suddenly a voice called out from behind them. Hey, I got something to say. Everyone turned. The man stood with his back to them, hesitating, his voice low and uncertain. You all listening? Lee Jihan's eyes widened. Horse King. His face was still bloodied, the deep wounds refusing to stop bleeding. But his voice was calm, deep, and strangely steady. I just wanted to say I'm sorry. Kim Yura stared at him in shock. What the hell? Why are you being all serious now? You're scaring me. But Horse King shook his head, cutting her off, his gaze softening as he glanced at Dave's little sister. No, it might be too late, but what happened to Dave, that was on me, my stubbornness, my arrogance. Heart King still lay silently on the ground as Horse King's voice filled the air, ignoring everything around him. I acted reckless, no strategy, no thought, just a goddamn irresponsible kid playing hero. Lowering his head, his mind drifted back to the battles. To the facade he'd clung to for so long. I've been hiding my cowardice behind fake confidence. Laughing loud, talking big, pretending to be this alpha male. But it was all bullshit. I'm just some pathetic, cowardly loser, a fraud. Lee Jayun's eyes welled up as she shook her head. No, Horse King, it was because of that confidence. I found the courage to change, so all that talk. But Horse King cut in softly, and that's exactly why his next words made Kwang's eyes light up with excitement. I have one favor to ask of all of you, a wide, reckless grin spread across Horse King's face as he shouted, starting now, I won't fake being crazy anymore, I'll be actually crazy. He laughed wild and unrestrained. So you guys ready to lose your damn minds with me? Spinning around, he called out loud and clear, Yura. Without hesitation, Kimura thrust out her hand with a fierce smile. Hell yeah, that's the Horse King I know. A red whirlwind burst into existence, swirling violently. Then condensed into a massive trampoline-like platform. In one fluid motion, Horse King leapt right onto its center. From now on I'll show you what breaking limits really looks like. The trampoline sank deep under the force of his landing. A maniacal grin lit up Horse King's face as he launched himself high into the sky straight toward the incoming meteor. His entire body burned with a crimson aura. Dave's sister grinned, her excitement infectious. Crank the volume up. Let's see just how insane we can really get. Death beat. A surge of sound energy merged with his aura, propelling him forward with even greater force. Horse King smirked, practically shouting over the rush of wind. Good push, damn good push. Johan noticed what was happening and added a jet booster to the mix. This guy's completely nuts, but screw it, might as well go all in now. With every second, Horse King's speed increased dramatically. Lee Ji-hyun's eyes suddenly lit up as she unleashed a powerful surge of energy toward him. Show them Mal Wang. A glowing pink symbol flared across his chest. Horse King's face lit up with excitement. Hell yeah, with everyone's support. He soared higher and higher toward the sky. In no time, Horse King reached the massive meteor barreling down on them. Below, Kai Wang and the terrified monsters shouted in unison. We can't hold back anymore. Manager Lee, Johan, Kim, Yura, they all screamed at the top of their lungs, giving him every ounce of strength they had left. A brilliant flash of light spread across the earth as a massive explosion erupted in the sky. Debris rained down like a deadly storm. The black smoke was swept away by the force, but the meteor remained. It hadn't been destroyed. It was still falling. Everyone stared upward, their faces frozen in horror and disbelief. No way, is this really the end? Lee Ji-hyun clenched her teeth, unable to speak. The meteor pressed Horse King down, slamming him onto the rooftop of a nearby skyscraper. But even then he stood firm, refusing to fall back. Gritting his teeth, blood filling his mouth, he dug in and pushed against the massive rock. Don't be ridiculous, this isn't over yet. Cracks spider-webbed across the glowing armor of energy surrounding him. Blood poured from his mouth as the meteor continued to drive him deeper, shattering nearly the entire building beneath him. The surrounding area was rocked by violent tremors and explosions. No one knew how long it passed. Eventually, Lee Ji-hyun slowly opened her eyes, groaning, as she forced herself to sit up amid the rubble. What the hell happened? Are we still alive? Where's Horse King? Her eyes widened in shock. Through the thick smoke and dust, a massive figure stood tall, still holding the meteor at bay. Horse King's teeth were clenched tight, blood gushing from his lips, but he refused to give in. Horse King. Lee Ji-hyun trembled weakly, reaching out. Wait, let me help, but her own body was covered in blood. Barely able to move. Still, she stubbornly tried to crawl toward him. No, Horse King, but his roar cut through the air, stopping her in her tracks. Don't be reckless. Her eyes filled with confusion and frustration. What are you saying? Kim, Yura, struggling to her feet, gasped in disbelief. You idiot! Horse King chuckled softly, still bracing the meteor with everything he had. Hey, relax, I can handle this stupid rock just fine. That's why all of you get the hell out of here. Lee Ji-hyun's eyes filled with fear and anger. Saying that now, though, this isn't the time to act stubborn. Horse King tilted his head, almost teasing. Stubborn? You think I can't pull this off? You wound my pride, you know. Kim, Yura forced herself to speak, her voice trembling with emotion. What about us? You expect us to just stand here and watch you throw your life away? I won't let you die. We fight this together. Suddenly, Johan swooped in from seemingly nowhere, scooping both women up and flying them away. Kim, Yura screamed, tears pouring down her face. Put me down, we can't leave him. But Johan's voice was firm, determined. No. If we stay, we all die. You think I'm letting that crazy old man's sacrifice go to waste? Lee Ji-hyun looked back, reaching out toward the lone figure still holding the meteor. Horse King. Seeing her desperate gaze, Horse King smiled gently to himself. Everyone's safe, that's good. Enough. Dave's little sister ran alongside them, tears streaming down her cheeks. We saved them, right? Thank God. Behind them, Lee Ji-hyun screamed, her voice breaking with grief. Horse King the first, I'm sorry. There, standing alone, his small but determined frame held back overwhelming destruction. Horse King's mind filled with quiet resolve. A familiar, encouraging voice echoed within him. Lift your head. Don't give up. His eyes shot open, snapping back to life. A tremendous power surged through his body. Kaiwan glanced back stunned. All this fuss over a damn rock. Even Dave's little sister gasped in awe. Isn't this the perfect time to show them what we're really made of? A staff slammed down onto the cracked ground. Dave appeared, his body wrapped in bandages. But that radiant smile of his was completely intact. So this is what a real alpha male looks like. Appa's back. The others saw him and shouted in disbelief, an overwhelming emotion. Captain, even Johann mid-flight looked back and couldn't believe his eyes. How is that even possible? Then the realization hit him. Wait, could it be the petrification curse? Did it break when that green bastard died? Kim Yura was just as confused. But he should have shattered into pieces, shouldn't he? Meanwhile, Dave forced a wry smile, remembering those moments before, thinking to himself, no way, I'm telling them I basically glued myself back together. Turning to Horse King, he called out teasingly, how long are you planning to sit there sulking? I'm gone for a few hours and you turn into some weak, dried-up Malong again. His eyes flashed a sharp green as he let out a fierce roar. Need me to knock some sense back into you? Horse King, bruised, bloodied, but filled with excitement, grinned wide and responded instantly. Then I've got a favor to ask. Closing his eyes, Horse King did exactly as the voice instructed. Deep breath in, the tips of his feet angled firmly upward. To straight, every muscle in his body tensed and flexed. Grip the bar wider than shoulder width, his ABS tightened, spine straightened, hips adjusted. Pushing back slowly, center of gravity dropped lower. Bend the knees, hold the squat position. Horse King let out a long, steady exhale. Dave clenched his fist, smiling with fierce determination. All right, if you're ready, 2, 3. The moment his voice rang out, Horse King unleashed every ounce of strength he had, lifting the massive meteor upward. Yup, his roar echoed across the land, shaking the sky.